Grant Pure has started in every game for Canada in this tournament. A 3.11 goals against average. He's at 4 wins, a loss, and 2 ties. Beloshakin for the Soviets has not won yet. No wins, 1 loss, 1 tie, and a very unimpressive 4.00 goals against average.
And the starting lineups for Team Canada and the Soviet Union. Team Canada defending the goal down to our left, and there you see it with Messier at center. He'll start this game facing off against Igor Larionov of the Soviet Union. Larionov, Makarov, Karutov, Fetisov, Kazatonov, and Hawerchuk on the left side, Anderson on the right wing, Doug Crossman, and Norman Rochefort for Team Canada.
The referee again is 32-year-old Paul Stewart of the United States. And he's ready to drop the puck between Messier and Larionov. And away we go in Hamilton. Messier getting it over to Hawerchuk. Now back to Rochefort, to Crossman. Ahead on right wing to Glenn Anderson, who fires it in. Fetisov back to get it. That's Hawerchuk into Porchuk, but Kasatonov clears it out to Krutov, number 9. He just tipped it to center. Shot back in by Crossman, and Fetisov is there. To Krutov, back over for Fetisov. Spins from Hawerchuk, gets it to Makarov, to Larionov, centers, big save, Pure, early here on that great try by the Soviets. Back is Hawerchuk to Messier, cutting in. Messier centered, Rochefort scores! Rochefort!
Rochefort never scored a bigger goal. What a play as he came in. Watch number 5, he'll move in. He'll be the extra man in the zone. They were not ready for him.
Quite a play by Messier to set it up.
Oh, just great. There it comes again. Now everybody's tied up in front, and Rochefort's the extra man. Kazatonov got turned around. He was not facing the shot. Norman Rochefort puts Canada in front after Grant Pure at the other end had made a very big save on Makarov on that great setup from Karutov.
43 seconds, the time of the goal. 1-0 Canada, and that's what Canada was hoping for. A good start. Here's Kamensky. Tied up by Goulet. Held in by Murphy with a shot wide. Over on the other side, Gusarov. But it's held in by Canada. And Bekov, number 27, tries to fire it out of there and does. And Paul Coffey has to go back for Canada. Coffey giving it to Larry Murphy. Murphy playing it off the boards into center ice. Sutter had a break but couldn't control the pass. Stelno feeding Homatop, number 15. Homatop moving in. Shoots one up high as it hit a stick. Bekov in front. Homatop scores on the rebound. Andre Homatop, number 15, ties it up.
We're going to have to look at this one again to see exactly what happened to Grant Pure on this. The shot deflected up high. As he took a second whack, it deflected. Now Pure got bumped. So he was slow getting in. He got all turned around worrying about Nemchinov. And the puck just bounced out in front. So Pure wasn't paying attention. He elected to go after the guy who was in front. Got an arm on it, but simply could not keep it out. But the contact in the goal mouth is what paved the way for that goal.
Well, Homatop ties it up, and Canada's early lead is down the drain. Here's Perbukin trying to clear it. Doug Gilmour holding it in. Gilmour for Canada, right in. Gets it in front. Mario Lemieux shooting. Gilmour a whack at it, and play is called. Leyrula was hit by a high stick, and Gilmour and Lemieux combining beautifully. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
42 seconds.
Well, we get a penalty on that last play, and the goal most scrambled to Doug Gilmour for high sticking. And Canada will be a man short. I thought it had been called because the puck had been hit by a high stick.
Well, it looked like in the middle of all of that, the save was made also by Beloshakin.
Well, Rochefort scored from Messier and Hawerchuk at the 43-second mark. 34 seconds later, Homatop tied it from Bekov. And now the penalty to Gilmore, and the Soviets with the man advantage. Soviets took good advantage of their power play situation the other night when they went 2 for 6. And that was one of the big reasons for their victory. Canada shorthanded, clearing it down the ice. Fetisov, number 2, is back to get it. He and Kasatonov, the point men, with Krutov, Makarov, and Larionov up front. And here's Krutov. Around to Makarov. In behind, Krutov trying to center. Krutov, checked by Bork. Krutov trying to get it to Makarov. Makarov plays it off the boards to Larionov. Back to Kasatonov. Over to Fetisov. In on the other side to Krutov. To Makarov. Back to Fetisov. To Kasatonov. To Fetisov. Soviets with the man advantage. Fetisov cutting in. Still controlling it. Number 2, Fetisov. Side of the net to Krutov. Trying to center. Hit the back of the net. And that gives the Team Canada defenseman Bork a chance to get it and clear it out. Canada change on the fly. 50 seconds left in the penalty. Kasatonov. Number 7. Headmanning it to Makarov, but off his stick and cleared away by Rochefort for Canada. And Fetisov has to go back. That's Prop in forechecking. Now Homatov, number 15, who scored the goal, starts out for the Soviets. Homatov couldn't go in because Bekov had been pushed in offside on the play, so he circled back. Here's Homatov feeding one ahead, intercepted by Hartsburg and cleared down the ice. 15 seconds left in the penalty. Good penalty killing here by Team Canada. Lead pass out to Kamensky, number 13. Kamensky to Bekov, number 27 to Homatov. Gretzky intercepts. Back comes Gretzky. Gilmore back out of the penalty box. Canada carrying in. Rochefort to Gilmore. To the scores! Doug Gilmore! And Canada leads 2-1.
I think Rochefort thinks he's Bobby Orr out there. Here he is in deep again. Sets it up beautifully. Rochefort with a goal and an assist, both times moving in from the point.
From Kingston, Ontario, Doug Gilmore, now a pivotal man with the St. Louis Blues, and he gets a biggie right after coming out of the penalty box.
Look at it again, and Rochefort's the man, but Gilmore lets a great shot go, looking for that corner.
So Canada takes the lead again. Here come the Soviets right back, firing it in. Coffey back for Canada, trying to clear it out of there. But Dotop with a drive. Fiore a save. Murphy can't clear the rebound. Now gets another chance, and Canada with Lemieux to center ice. Here's Vic Mario trying to go around for Dotop. Bellow shaken, trying to clear it. Goulet on the boards. Couldn't hold it in, but drops it back to center where Coffey feeds Murphy. Murphy flips it in. Bellow shaken, played that carefully. Now Gretzky or Lemieux into forecheck. Here's Murphy at the point. Puck knocked down by Murphy. Cleared in. It hit Fedotov. Fedotov, number 14, firing it out. And Murphy has to go back. Murphy over in his own zone for Coffey. Back to Murphy again. Out for Anderson. They get it to Coffey at center. Paul Coffey trying to move in. Coffey flipped it in front. Bellow shaken, clears it. Into the corner, it's Prop. Prop centered. Lemieux in front to Anderson. Anderson checked by Semyonov, centered. Will get a penalty to Semyonov for hooking, and Canada will have a power play. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Well, how do you like it so far? 2-1, Canada leading and about to go on the power play. Semyonov hooking Anderson as he tried to get a shot away. Did a pretty good job on him, too, as he tied him up. Number 30, Semyonov, at 4:54.
Well, let's see what Canada can do with the man advantage. We told you earlier, against the Soviets, they're only 2 for 13, and they've given up two-handed or two short-handed goals against. That last scoring play, Gilmore from Rochefort and Gretzky. 3:48 the time. And now at 4:54, Semyonov in the penalty box. Here's Canada with the man advantage. Gretzky feeding it into Lemieux, who panned on it. Dick Mario trying to center, still after it. Comes to the point to Bourque, to Messier. He pokes at it, and Beloshakin able to smother it. And then Kaprizov and Messier bump in the slot area. And that's like two runaway freight trains hit it.
Well, there are two really tough guys, including the most intimidating player, I think, in hockey today, Mark Messier, who not only can beat you with his speed and with his shot and with his playmaking and all of the offensive skills, but maybe the toughest checking forward in the game. Put all that together, and I'd say that is pretty intimidating.
Canada has outshot the Soviets so far, 6-2. Messier, Lemieux, and Gretzky up front. Coffey and Bourque the point men. Messier gets the face-off to Coffey. To Gretzky, back to Coffey. Over to the other side. Bourque feeding into Gretzky. Gretzky trying to make a play into Messier. Messier fired it in front. Bourque had moved in, but missed it, and Makarov breaks out with Krutov. Messier trying to get back and does, and Makarov's shot blocked by Coffey. Messier came back from nowhere to help out and cover the other man on that 2-on-1 break. It's shot in now by Canada.
Not only that, he caught up with a very fast man in Krutov.
Here's Gretzky. Centered. Messier, the deflection just wide. Kaprizov tries to get it out. Bourque held it in. Into Messier. Into the corner. Canada with Lemieux back to Bourque. Shooting, and that's off a stick and high. Here's Gretzky. Kicks it into the corner. Gretzky still after it. Cleared. Held in by Coffey. Coffey's shot. Loose in front. Beloshakin dove out and grabbed it before Gretzky could get a stick on it.
Very large difference in this hockey game from what we've seen before. You notice the traffic in front of the net for Team Canada. They're putting people out in front of Beloshakin, and I think he's right in the middle of a nightmare right now because he's not seeing any of the shots coming in. Take a look on the replay at the traffic in front. First that one, and a deflection that went off the skate of Messier. Didn't see that one. And then on the second play, here comes, look at the movement towards the net now as Coffey just winds up. They get the people in there. Tough to play goal when you can't see what's coming at you.
Now Howard, Chuck, Goulet, and Anderson up front. Murphy, a point man along with Hartsburg. Canada from the face-off. Goulet bumped by Stelnov, number 4. Howard Chuck in to help out. Center to Murphy. Shoots one. Beloshakin, a glove save. And he held on to it.
Again, 3 members of Team Canada right in front of Beloshakin. Murphy, that shot would have missed the net. Beloshakin just got the glove out there. He had a bit of a view of this one.
Again, Howard Chuck against perhaps the Soviets' best face-off man, Bekov, at least in this series. 33 seconds left in the penalty. 2-1, Team Canada leading. Howard Chuck gets the draw to Murphy, a drive, and that went off Howard Chuck into the corner. Now Anderson for Team Canada. Centers it, comes to Murphy. He couldn't hold it in as Bekov was able to clear it out of there. And back goes Craig Hartsburg, number 4. Off the boards to Murphy. Back to Hartsburg. Hartsburg into center ice. Anderson couldn't catch up with it. Stelnov takes a bump. Goulet trying to get it free to Anderson. Moving in to Hartsburg. Hartsburg got it into the corner, but Gusarov comes up with it, trying to clear it. Murphy held it in. Shot right on. Beloshakin just got a hand up. Now Canada's Howard Chuck off the side of the net with that drive. Soviets, by the way, are back at full strength. Here's Goulet to Anderson. Wayne Anderson out in front, backhander, Beloshakin, Goulet a shot, and then the net is knocked loose. And we get a stoppage in play. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Evgeny Beloshakin under fire. Shots on goal, 13-2 for Canada. Watch the action in front of the net now. Number 4 is Stelnov. He's going to battle at the side of the net with Howard Chuck. Also Anderson's there. The puck hit the post there. Wound up in the corner.
Face outside the Soviet blue line. Canada leading 2-1. They've completely dominated, out shooting the Soviets 13-2. Soviets from the face-off come up with it. But Canada, Doug Gilmour flipping it back in. Bedotov back to get it. Here's Sutter into forecheck. Now Gilmour centered. Sutter shoots. Jump just wide after Gilmour set him up. Now Canada break a play up at center ice. Gilmour firing it back in. In there to get it, and clearing it is Verbuchen. Rochefort back after it. Rochefort giving it to Crossman. Off the boards into center ice to Gartner. Picked up by Gilmour, who fires it in. And there is Casatona. That's Sutter in, grinding on the boards for Canada to try and get it free. They almost did, but Soviets do come up with it, and it's fired out of there. All the way down the ice by Semak, the hero of game one with the overtime goal. Rochefort to Crossman, to Mario Lemieux, into Prop, right in, shoots, shot wide. Beloshakin came away out to meet him, and then he shot it wide. Here's Fetisov trying to clear it. Now Semyonov, number 30 for the Soviets. Loses to Lemieux. Mario Lemieux cutting in, right in, shot wide by about a foot. But the whole play was offside anyway. What puck artistry by Big, number 66. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Well, Mike Keenan warned us before the game that Mario Lemieux could be seeing some action as a right winger. They have hardly anybody that's a regular right winger on the team. No regular right winger, as a matter of fact. So there he is on the right wing with Wayne Gretzky.
And Prop on the other side. Here are the Soviets. In Chinop, number 12, upended by Murphy, cuts in anyway. Tried to center, and Coffey slid across to break it up. Now, the Soviets, with Bryakin is checked on the play, and Canada able to clear it up. Here's Gretzky to Coffey. Coffey shoots one. In behind Beloshakin, reaches back and grabbed it. They pour it across the red line. And Beloshakin looked rather shaky here in the opening period. He was not sure of his bearings, it seems.
Oh, you'd be shaky too. Look at this one, and this is agonizing. Everybody in the building saying, get to the puck, get to the puck. It's just lying there. Beloshakin reached back and covered it up right there before anybody could get in. Big shot by Coffey.
We're going to get some penalties on the last play as well.
Good idea.
Altercation in front of the net.
Yemchinov going off along with Mario Lemieux, who got in there looking for that puck. Or looking for any kind of a loose puck. And all that came just after he covered it up. Reaches back. Now in comes Lemieux. I don't know what he did going by. Just keep the sticks down, says Gretzky.
Well, minor penalties to each team here, with 11-11 left in the period. This program is protected by copyrights. Any use of this telecast without permission is prohibited. 4 against 4 here. 2-1 Canada. Messier against Larionov on this faceoff. High sticking to Mario Lemieux and Nemchina. Here's Canada's Messier trying to center, knocked down, and the Soviets, Makarov starting back. Makarov, number 24, one of their very best. Taken out of the play by Crossfoot and Messier for Canada. Messier had nowhere to go, just flipped it in. Stelnov leaving it for Larionov. Back to Stelnov. Over to number 3, Gusarov. Back to Stelnov. To Gusarov. Ahead to Makarov. Has Larionov with him. But Crossman broke it up. Now center, they tried to get it to the late man, Stelnov, but Stelnov taken out by Bork. And it's Anderson clearing it. Stelnov held it in. Shoots, big kick save by Pure. Just got his left leg up. Canada starting back. Messier to center. That's as far as he got. And Makarov drops it back, and now we're going to get a penalty on the play against Canada and against Messier. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
High sticking penalty goes out to Messier. Here's a great save by Pure. Big pad save on that shot by Stelnov after he intercepted a pass by Glenn Anderson. Here's the penalty. High sticking somewhere in there. Oh, there it is.
On Gusarov, and Messier will pay the price.
Gusarov taking that across the side of the head. NHL, they say you're responsible for your stick.
Soviets with a 4-against-3 power play here. They are 0 for 1 on the man advantage situation tonight. Doug Gilmour, Canada's only forward. Rochefort and Crossman on defense. Here's Bekov getting it, and the Soviets drop it into their own zone. Kasatonov in to get it. Gilmour in to try and tie him up. Couldn't, and Homatov breaks out. Homatov, number 15. Homatov stops at a dime, centers to Bekov, back to Kasatonov. Kasatonov over to Fetisov, into the side of the net, and Rochefort breaks it up and is able to clear it to the line, but held in. Bekov, number 27. Leaving it there for Kasatonov. To Fetisov. Return to Kasatonov. Fetisov shoots one. That hits someone in front of the net and bounced wide. And then Doug Gilmour comes up with it for Canada. Gilmour, number 28, trying to stick handle in. Kasatonov tied him up. And back comes Bekov. Bekov in for the Soviets, leaving it for Semyonov. They drop it back to Kasatonov. Shoots, hit the post. Big rebound. Kasatonov stopped by Fuhrer. Canada can't clear it. Now, two of the penalized players back on. Fetisov, a shot deflected. And then poked away by Rochefort. Fetisov holding it in to Semyonov. Shooting, and Fuhrer stick save there. Here's Nemchinov. Back to Fetisov. A drive. Back to deflect wide. Bekov. Soviets on a power play. 35 seconds left in Messier's penalty. Bekov to Semyonov. He scores! No goal, says the referee. No goal. I think a man in the crease.
Oh, my goodness. Yellow-Shaken must have thought he stood alone. Down at the other end, Fuhrer made 5 big saves, all in a sequence. The goal was waved off by referee Paul Stewart. Watch the people in front of the net. And finally, it was backhanded past Grant Fuhrer, and the referee calling it immediately.
He's also giving out penalties to Crossman and then Nemchinov on the play.
Here's the play. Watch the traffic. Well, now you see, the rule is if you're pushed into the crease, and I think he was the Soviet player, then, you know, that's rub of the green and the goal would stand.
Well, I think he had called the penalty before the puck was in the net, and that may be.
That may be.
Soviet Union number 12, Sergei Nemchinov. 2 minutes for interference.
Nemchinov gets interference.
Ever seen such a pace to a hockey game, Dan?
11 minutes.
Not really. Something else. 8:39 left in the period. And I'm not sure that Grant Fuhrer or Yellow-Shaken have seen such a pace either.
No.
Still a power play for the Soviets, 4 against 3. Messier still with 20 seconds left in his penalty. Here's Fetisov. Into Krutov. Over to Gusarov. Back at the point. Fetisov trying to center. This Krutov with it. And Gretzky comes back. Has Bork with it. Gretzky just dumping it in. Fetisov back to get it. Messier's back on. Each team a man short. Here's Krutov. Leaving it for Makarov. To Krutov. Centers it in front. Shot just wide of the net. As the point man had moved up Gusarov, and he was wide open, but missed the net. Each team a man short now as Bork intercepts one. Into Messier. Messier centered to Gretzky. He's upended in the slot. And Gusarov starting back to Makarov. Makarov to Gusarov. Centers. Krutov trying to center it. Both wide. Here's Makarov. Tied up by Hartsburg, and Gretzky back to get the puck. Gretzky to Gartner. Gartner moving right in. Gartner in front to Gretzky. Gets it to Coffey. Right-handed shot. He scores! Paul Coffey!
Gardner had trouble controlling the puck. That's why he didn't let the shot go. So he unloaded it. Gretzky then almost an impossible pass, but he got it to Coffey. Coffey with a terrific move. Here comes the pass. Now Gretzky wasn't ready for it. Got it and quickly unloaded. Right onto the stick of Coffey. It's almost like Gretzky had quit on the play. If you could ever say that about Wayne Gretzky. He was telling him, feed it back, get the deep man. Well, he got it to him anyway.
3-1, Canada leading on the goal by this man, Paul Coffey of the Edmonton Oilers. Here's Coffey, each team still a man short. They get it to Mario Lemieux. Going back for Dotop. Now Canada's Lemieux centered, but Semyonov feeding it out into center ice. Here's a chance. Semyonov a drive, and a stick save there by Pure. Gardner trying to clear it. Perbukin held it in. Perbukin shot stopped by Pure. Soviets with a man behind the net, Lomakin against Rochefort, and they hold it there. And we'll get a face-off in Team Canada's end of the ring. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
They're taking turns here tonight. Grant Fuhr under pressure right now. That shot and a big kick save on Semyonov's shot. Shots on goal right now. Canada 15, the Soviet Union 10.
That last scoring play for Canada. Coffey is second of the tournament. Gretzky and Gardner the assist. 12:41 the time. Ron, you pointed out something, and I think when you, as you look at Paul Coffey, when you watch two teams playing at this speed and intensity, you lose all of the values of just how fast it is, but they're going at breakneck speed.
Well, they're both teams are going to sleep well after this is over.
Here's Canada from a face-off, firing it up the middle. And Howardchuk tries to stick handle in. Flipped it through for Sutter. Fellow shaken out to clear it. Now Bork pinching in, but the Soviets break up. Bryakin couldn't get anywhere. Ryan Kropp had it. He loses. And now Bork fires it up on the boards, and Kasatonov has to chase back. Howardchuk in on his tail. Howardchuk hustles in, gets the puck, and runs into the referee. And the Soviet player, Nemchinov. Soviets try and fire it in. And Canada clear it right back out as Bork shot it out. Fetisov there for the Soviets. Banking it off the boards. Comes to Team Canada's line. Bork over to Howardchuk. Dale Howardchuk passing to Brent Sutter. He's skated off by Fetisov. Kamensky beats Bekoff, and the Soviets come back. Over to clear it is Coffey, and Craig Hartsburg has it on the boards. Hartsburg trying to clear it out. Now the Soviets holding it in, and Hartsburg will get another opportunity and clears it down. Gretzky after it. Bello shaken out. Bello shaken trying to get back in. Here's Goulet across. Oh, and a shot just wide by Coffey as Bello shaken got caught up. Lemieux to Gretzky. Here's Gretzky in front to Lemieux. Missed him. And the Soviets, Homatov starts back with Kamensky. Into Kamensky trying to center. Now Bekoff, number 27. Bekoff in front. Perbukin shoots. Stopped by the defense, I believe. And Murphy cleared it out, and here's Lemieux. Lemieux for Canada. Into Coffey. Coffey into the corner against Padota. And now Bekoff trying to clear it out of there. Soviets lose it. Here's Lemieux, but he couldn't get around the remaining defenseman, Perbukin. And the Soviets shoot at the center. Canada leading 3-1. Here's Murphy. Into Howardchuk. Dropping it for Rochefort. He fires it in. In comes Gretzky. Howardchuk trailing on the play, trying to get it to Gretzky, but Badotov feeds it to Himmelek, number 8. Now Krutov tried to break in. He's checked. When Anderson had it, but couldn't get it out. And the Soviets try and hold it in, but Bork, a nice pass into center ice. Here comes Anderson. Cutting in. Glenn Anderson still with the puck. Anderson looking for the late man. Now flips it around to Crossman. Doug Crossman for Canada. Centered. Messier, a whack at it. That just went wide. And Makarov trying to work it free. Messier in there, trying to tie him up. Soviets get it to Larionov, number 11. Larionov trying to move in, and Bork was there after Crossman broke the play up. Bork feeding it into center ice, and it's tipped there by Gilmore, and then Gilmore gets upended, and he limps to the bench. And another Team Canada forward is on the limp. Here's Lomakin into center ice. Now Semyonov. Semyonov moving in, shoots one. Good block there at the defense by Hartsburg. Back comes Canada. Gardner with Gretzky. To Gretzky. Gretzky is tied up by Fetisov. Now there's a drive and a save by Bello, shaken on prop. Semyonov starting back. Leaving it for Semak. Back to Semyonov. Round on the boards to Lomakin. Lomakin into Semak, number 18. Semak out in front. Now Lomakin trying to flip it in front, and Pure able to freeze it for a faceoff. 2:47 left in the period. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Doug Gilmore came up limping after he was straightened up by Fetisov right near the line. There is the check. That's the kind of a Charlie horse type check. Took him right in the area above the knee. He limped to the bench. Where he's going to feel that is when he gets up tomorrow morning. Looks like he's prepared to carry on tonight.
Here are the Soviets from the faceoff with two men in behind the net. One of them, Priakin, coming up with the puck. Now it's centered. Stelnov at the point. Shoots. Pure got his blocker up to stop that. And then Bork feeds it to Goulet, who flips it down to the Soviets line. Stelnov, number 4. Suffered a mild concussion in game 1, but out there tonight. Here's Priakin. In across the line. Mario Lemieux knocking it down to Sutter. Brent Sutter for Canada. Couldn't get around the defenseman, Nemchinov. And now a loose puck taken by Goulet and fired back in. Soviets, Gusarov back after the loose puck. And he gives it to number 15, Homatov. Back to Gusarov, to Bekov, number 27. Now to Homatov. Homatov gets knocked down on the play. And Coffey cleared it, but Soviets shoot it right back up. Back comes Kamensky. Weak shot. Howardchuk into the corner to get it, trying to slap it out of there, and does. Number 14, Fedotov back for the Soviets. Minute and a half left here in the first period. Canada leading 3-1. Here's Bekov tipping it in. Hartsburg there to clear it back out to Glenn Anderson at center. Anderson scooping it in. And going back is Perbukin. Shot at the center. Rochefort for Canada. Over to Doug Crossman. Now a hit by Fedotov on Anderson. Anderson gets it into Gilmore. Doug Gilmore checked by Bekov. Bekov loses to Gretzky. Now Rochefort at the point. Shoots one. That's wide of the net. And Fedotov clearing one. Now Gretzky trying to center. Bello shaken with Gartner on one side and Gilmore on the other. Just held it for a faceoff. 3-1 Canada. Gretzky, Gardner, and Gilmore, with Gilmore on left wing. An unusual position for him. Well, that's the way the Team Canada forwards are having to go about it because of injuries. And here's Larionov. Dropping one for Fetisov, number 2. Fetisov with a long shot. Pure handles that. Rochefort to Gilmore, and Gilmore able to clear it into center ice. There's Gardner racing in. Bello shaken out of the net. Gardner ran into him. And Gretzky trying to get a shot, and we're going to get a charging penalty to Mike Gardner. He took Bello shaken out, and the referee, Stewart, nails him for charging.
But to take a look at it, the goaltender was out playing the puck. Oh, well. Yeah, I'm of the belief that a goaltender's out there playing a puck, he's fair game.
Sure he is. But there's one problem. You and I haven't got a whistle.
Now,
Number 12, Mike Gardner, 2 minutes for charging.
what when a goaltender turns into a playmaker, he's got to be treated exactly the same as anybody else who's making a play with a puck. In other words, he's in possession of the puck, he's going to get hit. That, I thought, was a clean check.
31 seconds left in the period. Here's Gretzky for Canada. Team Canada a man short. Gretzky and Messier out there. Fetisov with the loose puck. Soviets on a power play. 0 for 2 in this game tonight with the man advantage. Here's Fetisov flipping it through. Messier breaks it up, and it's fired out of there by Doug Crossman. Fetisov back to get it. Lets Kasatonov play it. Kasatonov with 5 seconds left in the period to Krutov. Krutov moves in, and the first period comes to a conclusion. A good one for Canada. I think without any question their best of this Canada Cup.
Well, it's one of the best periods I've ever seen a Team Canada congregation play. In terms of offense, they were awesome. But the Soviet Union had their own big moments, and a terrific period, I thought, for Grant Fuhr as well. He was under pressure, especially in a penalty situation midway through the period. But Canada comes ahead 3-1.
That's the story after one period of play. Canada 3. The Soviets 1. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Well, this is the 4th Canada Cup tournament. I have seen every game in the Canada Cup that Canada has played. It is the greatest period offensively I've ever seen them play. This team has got its problems, of course. It's notoriously weak on defense. It has some problems with injuries and so on, but there's absolutely, even with the 76 team, I can't remember a period like they put in here. Now, you must remember that it was a very offensive kind of a period. The Soviets had some offense of their own. The 17-13 shots on goal would tell you that. But the intensity level both sides was incredible.
Our hats off, and Brad Clark has already pointed this out to the fans here in Hamilton tonight. They have been terrific and really gave Team Canada a lift at the start of this game.
Oh, that was a tremendous ovation and a prolonged one. They have to feel it. You know, that pregame ceremony business lasts a fair length of time, and the team gets ready with the pregame skate, then comes out. Both teams have to stand around and wait. It's not like it's one-sided, but when you've got your fans going the way the fans were here, I'm sure that it inspired Team Canada.
Well, Beloshakin takes over in goal again. We'd heard reports that they were thinking of perhaps making goaltending change, but they're staying with number 20, Beloshakin.
Now they're
Soviet huddle, so to say.
Mike Keenan
hasn't smiled much after first periods in this tournament.
No, he's been behind most of the tournament after first periods. This is the best opening period, obviously. It's one of the greatest periods ever played, as I said. So, in terms of Canada Cup play, Canada is going to open the period killing off a penalty. Penalty to Mike Gartner for charging the goaltender, Beloshakin. So we will, you know that the Soviets have been discussing the remainder of this power play, and there's a minute 30 left.
Canada will send out Mark Messier with Doug Gilmour up front as penalty killers.
Mike Gartner, by the way, playing in his 50th international game tonight. He is by far the leader in that department on Team Canada, starting with the 79 World Junior Tournament, 78 tournament, right through many World Championships, and this is second Canada Cup.
Here's a key part of this game. Soviets on a power play for another minute and 30 seconds. They have their green unit out there. Larionov, Makarov, and Krutov up front with Fetisov and Kasatonov on defense. Immediately cleared down the ice. Canada with Messier and Gilmour to kill it off. Crossman and Rochefort on defense. Here's Krutov. Rochefort fell. Soviets, Makarov trying to drop it back. Intercepted by Gilmour to Messier. Messier to Crossman into center ice to Doug Gilmour. Gilmour moving in. Gilmour trying to get away from Kasatonov. And now Fetisov comes up with it, and here come the Soviets. Here's Larionov. Poke checked nicely by Rochefort and cleared by Crossman. Kasatonov back to get it. Canada changing on the fly. Kasatonov to Krutov. Broken up by Messier and cleared out into the center ice area. Larionov. 40 seconds left. Another good defensive play by Canada. Messier trying to clear it in, but intercepted by Krutov. Here's Kasatonov leaving it for Fetisov. He shoots it in. Rochefort over to get it. Rochefort knocked down, fell on top of the puck, and We get a stoppage in play. 23 seconds left in Canada's penalty. Very good penalty killing by Canada to this point.
A shot of Normand Rochefort of the Quebec Nordiques, somewhat controversially on this team, and I think the biggest booster for Normand Rochefort was Serge Savard of the Montreal Canadiens, who highly recommended him. And his one line about Rochefort is, take a look at the Nordiques record when he is not playing for them. In other words, when he's out with an injury and so on. He's played very, very steadily. Here are all the great games that have been played in Canada Cup action. That 3-1 game in 1976, a very important game, as it saved Canada, who were in danger of missing the playoffs that year. They wound up in the playoffs against Czechoslovakia and won in 2 straight games.
Soviets still with 10 seconds left in Canada's penalty. Bekov moving in. Sutter breaks it up. Hartsburg trying to clear it. Gets it to Brent Sutter. Sutter couldn't chip it out. Now held in by Homatov. Homatov centers in front. A shot. Pure, a big save on Kamensky, who was in alone. And now the penalized player Gartner back on. What a save by Pure. Puck cleared down by the Soviets. Hartsburg back to get it against Homatov. Hartsburg holding him off, and Goulet tries to clear it. But Dotov at the point. His shot blocked. Back off a drive. And that's wide, and Gretzky has it for Canada. To Trent Hartsburg. Hartsburg moving in, leaves it for Gretzky. Gretzky back in front. Hartsburg just missed with the tip in. Now Sutter in the corner. And the Soviets try and fire it out of there. Hit escape. And Gusarov then does get it into center ice. Lomakin moving in. Shot. Pure the save. Big rebound, but they fan it out. And here's Gartner with Goulet and Gretzky. Gartner with a big booming shot wide of the net. And Semak, number 18. Headmans it into center ice. Here is Lomakin. Lomakin shoots. Pure glove save, and he held onto it. But what a save Pure made just near the end of that penalty. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Soviets got the first 3 shots of the period on the power play. Here's the great chance in front of the net. Now all alone is Homatov. Went to the short side, and Pure smelled it out, as moving in was Lomakin, rather, as he moved in.
All right, for a face-off deep in Team Canada's end. And Coffey comes up with it. Round on the boards. Hartsburg for Team Canada. The Brian Propp, number 26. Propp leaving it for Coffey. Up the middle to Gartner, but Fetisov tied him up well, and Fetisov made a neat play and now feeds it to Lomakin. Lomakin leaving it for Semyonov. He fell down. Coffey to Gartner, who's in the clear. Off the shoulder of Beloshakin. Gartner on a breakaway. And the Soviets dodge a bullet there. Back comes Semak. He moves into Lomakin. Number 23, Lomakin to Semyonov. Passed it off to Fetisov, who couldn't get the shot away. Now Lomakin. Murphy breaks that up. And here's Bork passing it to Propp. Propp gets it out of the zone. Semyonov, number 30, back to Fetisov, who has to chase back for it. Canada leading 3-1. We're early in the second period. Long pass to Semyonov. Hits the linesman. Semyonov able to get it. Semyonov moving in, centered, and it's knocked away by Pure. He just batted that one away. Now the Soviets with Humalet, number 8. Got it behind the net. Bork is there for Canada. Bouncing it off the boards. Skelno pinching in, trying to hold it. And it's held against the boards for another stoppage in play. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Well, Canada getting its chances. This is Gartner all alone, firing it. It may have caught the shoulder of Beloshakin. He was going on the top shelf. Skipped over top of the net. Gartner with that great speed and alone at center ice. The last thing they need is to have him floating around behind the defense.
Here's Rochefort for Canada to Dale Howardchuk. tipping it down into the Soviet zone. And then Chinop, number 12, has it. He breaks out, but Rochefort is there defensively. And Canada take over. Here's Crossman to Dale Howardchuk. Howardchuk firing it in for Anderson. Glenn Anderson in against Stelnov. Now Messier in front to Rochefort. A whack at it. That went wide. Into the corner is Anderson. Anderson tied up by Stelnov. Centered. Messier was there, but it bounced off his stick. Crossman into Howardchuk. Messier barges in there. He ties Gusarov up. And Canada, with some aggressive forechecking, force a face-off in the Soviets' end of the ring.
Just as aggressive are the Soviets inside their own zone. We're used to them trying to handle the puck a little more. Now they're just playing the man. And in the corner, that's Stelnov, who had his run-in the other night with Messier. Oh, a little whack across the side of the helmet to finish all of that off. They have got some aggressive guys. Stelnov will go after you a little bit, so will Gusarov, two of the younger defensemen. Absolutely no question that Fetisov cannot be intimidated, or Kazatonov inside the zone. And there is Vladimir Krutov, Soviets' most valuable player last year, the most valuable player in the Soviet Union. Little guy at 5'9", but you can't move him.
He's had 6 goals so far in this tournament. So he's a Soviet player to keep an eye on. Soviets able to shoot at the center. Sutter back for Team Canada. Off the boards to Craig Hartsburg. Hartsburg gives it to Gretzky. And Gretzky, who's out on the forward line with Messier and Sutter, or at least with Goulet and Sutter, gives it to Michel Goulet. Goulet fires a long one in. Fetisov back after it. Fetisov up the middle. Larionov over to Krutov to Makarov. Trying to center. And Crossman did a good job of tying up Krutov. Canada trying to clear it. Goulet picks up the loose puck. Headmans to Sutter. Number 21, Brent Sutter, shooting it in. And number 14, back to get it, is Fedotov for the Soviets. That's prop in forechecking. Now Mario Lemieux had it, and the play is called on an offside at the Soviet blue line. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Canada leading 3-1. They played 5 minutes 57 seconds here in the second period. Period with not the high-powered offense that we saw in the first period. They've settled down a little bit, but there was absolutely no way that they were going to continue the way they were. Number 3 there, second in the foreground, is Gusarov. Pretty good young defenseman.
Canada with a line of Lemieux, Prop, and this man Gardner into forecheck. Here's Kasatonov. Getting it into center ice. Pekov over onto the wing to Kamensky. A quick wrist shot that's high and wide. And Prop quickly tips it back into center ice. Here's Fetisov trying to feed it through for Homatov. He was checked, and now back and controlling is Larry Murphy for Canada. Murphy against Kamensky around to Gardner. Gardner lets it go, and Mario Lemieux racing after it. Lemieux bumping with Kasatonov trying to center. Now Prop does center. And Bellows shaken, able to freeze it in his goal crease for another stoppage.
Want to see the little things that make a play. Mario Lemieux going in after that puck. It was a one-on-one situation. Just reached around. Now watch him reach. This is the tag end of the play and control that puck. But he got Kasatonov off the play prior to that when he reached around, just grabbed him by the arm, enough to just spin him away from the puck and let him get the edge going into the corner. What are those two guys talking about? Coffey and Lemieux.
Maybe how they get a 4th goal. Here's Messier with Anderson and Howardchuk back to Rochefort. Shot off Bellows' shaken stick. Now James Patrick firing it in behind the net for Canada. Howardchuk into center. Comes to the point to Patrick. Shoots one. Bellows shaken, had it go off his stick. Howardchuk centered. Anderson didn't see it. And the Soviets clear it, and Patrick goes back to get it. Penalty coming up to the Soviets. Here's James Patrick in across the line. He's checked. And as soon as the Soviets get possession, now a holding penalty coming up against the Soviets. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Stelnov gets the holding call at 7:04. The Soviet Union 0 for 3 on the power play. Canada out there now. They'll have Messier in the middle, and the fans starting to heat it up again. Canada 0 for 1 on the power play. The Soviets 0 for 3.
And that alignment, a star-studded power play unit it is. Messier, Gretzky, and Lemieux up front. Hartsburg and Murphy the point man. Here's Hartsburg firing it around onto the boards. Lemieux in the corner. Lemieux trying to center it, but it's picked off and cleared out of there by Pervukin. And Hartsburg has to go back. Greg Hartsburg from the Minnesota North Stars giving it to Messier. Over to Lemieux. Back to Gretzky. Gretzky center. Murphy had moved in. His shot blocked. Centered by Murphy, but intercepted, and Fedotov cleared it, and a good defensive play there by Hartsburg to break up a dangerous rush. Here's Messier to Lemieux. Cross to Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky for Canada. To Mario Lemieux. To Murphy. Murphy's shot blocked. And Makarov fires it out of there for the Soviets. Hartsburg back to get it. A minute left in the penalty. Here's Lemieux to Gretzky. Gretzky to Anderson. Missed him as it was tipped. And Pervukin clears it away. 50 seconds left in the Soviets' penalty. Here's Paul Coffey. Lemieux fires it in. Anderson charging in. Coffey right behind him, but Bekhoff breaks out for the Soviets. And that's Coffey who came back and broke that up. Now Bekhoff again. Moving in. Shoots. Fuhr the save. Loose puck in front. Batted away by Fuhr. Here's Kasatonov. But his shot blocked. And Canada clear it to center. Here's Gretzky. Into Anderson. Cutting in. Shoots. Bellow shaking a big save there on Glenn Anderson. Mario Lemieux with a dozen seconds left in the penalty. To Gretzky. In front to Lemieux. Black Canada went wide. Now Lemieux centers. Gretz shot wide by Anderson. Here's Gretzky. To Anderson. That shot blocked. Delno back on. And the Soviets break out. Soviets back at full strength. There's Bekhoff. Leaving it for Fetisov. To Kasatonov. Shoots up high off the glass. And the puck bounces all the way to the Soviet line. That's Gilmore in to try and get it. But Fetisov took him out, and then Bella shaken. Cleared it right through his goal crease. And then it's cleared up over the boards at the Team Canada bench. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Yevgeny Beloshakin seems to be a little shaky, but he's still keeping his team in the game. There's all kinds of action in front of the net. 66 is Mario Lemieux. Anderson jamming it up in front. He's without his stick now. Beloshakin is. There's a whack at it. Beloshakin covering the angle, going into that butterfly. Gretzky picking it up with Lemieux moving in as well into the corner. Terrific action.
That was Canada's best flurry of this period. Now the Soviets still trailing by a pair of goals. Move it out of there. Shot down into Canada's zone with Rossman back to give it to Hartsburg. Hartsburg flipping it into center ice. Now Semyonov, number 30. He breaks in. Trying to center. Does. Tipped away by Propp. And then Canada able to clear it into the neutral ice area. Here's Semyonov. Long pass across. Over onto the far side. Samak to Lomakin. Lomakin, number 23, to Semyonov. Comes to the point. Delno moving in. His shot a weak one, and it went wide. And Gilmore for Canada beats Brian Propp. Quickly at center, intended for Gartner, but tipped up over the boards into the crowd.
Kind of playing a man-on-man type defense inside the zone. Very, very good defense, as Canada is not allowing the Soviets to get loose at all. Craig Hartsburg, the outstanding defenseman at the World Hockey Championships this year. And that means he was a better defenseman as far as the jury was concerned, which is made up of the IIHF director, than Fetisov and Kasatonov and all of the others.
And this has been Hartsburg's best game of this Canada Cup, at least from where I sit. Here's a chance for the Soviets moving in. Backhand shot by Nemchinov. Now back of the goal. Pumalek trying to center. He gets tied up in knots there. on Murphy, and we get a stoppage in play.
Hard to find somebody who isn't playing well for Team Canada tonight. We've had spotty performances, and this is all part of the problem of getting ready and becoming a team. Chance in front of the net. Now watch the pad save and the stick. As again, Fuhr is just outstanding. The Soviets have had every excuse to get it back into this game, but Fuhr, every time that they've come close, has been there to stop them.
Here are the Soviets with Nemchinov, Pryakin, and Humalef their forward line. And Canada with control right now. Glenn Anderson firing one up the middle, intended for Messier, but that was offside in the play. And the faceoff will come back from where the pass came.
Yevgeny Belosheikin from Sakhalin Island. That's away in the east part, the island north of Japan. And so he has come a long way to play for the Soviet national team and play now in Moscow with the Central Army. Wayne Gretzky has 2 assists in this game. 2 of the 3 goals he's been in on, so there's the story in the scoring race. And I guess that's about the way it is ordained. If I were to say who's going to be top of the scoring race, I would say Gretzky and Mario Lemieux and Makarov and Krutov. And then maybe I'd throw Messier in.
Here is that big Soviet line now. Larionov at center, Makarov on right wing, Krutov on left wing. Rochefort controlling for Canada. The Dale Howard shot intended for Anderson, tipped away. Crossman back at the Team Canada blue line, flipped it, and it went over the Team Canada bench back onto the ice, and that stops play. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have coming into this final seminar.
Canada 3, Soviets 1. Shots on goal in the second period. Dead even at 5 apiece. So Canada playing some defense to go with that vaunted offense they show in the first period.
Well, they're showing the best team defense that I've seen them show in the tournament. Again, this is all part of just becoming a team overall.
Here's Krutov for the Soviets, trying to center. Krutov in the grasp of Crossman, gets it in front, pinching in from the point. Fetisov, penalty coming up to Canada. Delayed penalty coming up. Here's Krutov. Back to Fetisov. Moves in, and then as Messier gets possession, play is called and a holding penalty coming up against Team Canada and against Doug Crossman from the Philadelphia Flyers.
Paul Stewart has refereed just part of one game in the National Hockey League. There is what he saw and what he called. I think probably he was dead on with his call. Crossman going for 2 minutes on the holding. The one game he refereed was a game in which he had started the evening as a spectator at Boston Garden, and Dave Newell got hurt during a game between the Boston Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens. If you want to start your NHL refereeing career, I think there are easier teams to referee against and easier potential games than the Bruins and the Canadiens. He had a good goal he called back in the game. He had a tough night, but he persevered.
Here are the Soviets with the man advantage. Makarov back of the net. Trying to drop it back. Kasatonov returns to Makarov. Now to Fetisov. He flips it into Krutov, and a good play by Rochefort. And Rochefort now feeds Gilmore. Trying a quick pass to Messier. That's broken up. Doug Gilmore, number 28, back to Rochefort. He picks an opening and fires it down the ice. Kasatonov. Into center ice to Larionov, leaving it for Kasatonov. Flipped around. Fuhr missed it back of the net. It skipped on him. Now Fetisov, shoot, they score! Fetisov from the point, and the Soviets click on the power play.
Deflected shot. I don't know who was out in the high slot, whether it was a Team Canada defenseman or a Soviet player. Here comes the shot. That's Kasatonov. No, that's Larionov, who's in front of the net. Here comes the shot, and that went off, I think, a Team Canada defenseman in front. Fetisov with that low shot, which is a very deflectable kind of a shot. And Fetisov is likely to get credit for it.
Fetisov does get it. 29-year-old veteran, and heralded as their best defenseman and one of the best in the world. Soviets score on the power play and have cut Canada's lead to 3-2. Fetisov from Krutov and Kasatonov, 12-11 the time. Here are the Canadians with Bourque firing it in. In is Lemieux, an open net. Beloshakin got back in there and robbed Lemieux. Beloshakin went a-wandering and almost got burned, but slid out to save the day on Lemieux. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Yevgeny Beloshakin. I think maybe Mario Lemieux will be seeing this one in his dreams. Beloshakin coming out from behind the net. He's gone back there to clear the puck, and it bounced off the boards, came right to Lemieux, had a yawning net to shoot at. Beloshakin quickly back in. Give Lemieux credit. He was trying to bury that shot. He was really blasting it.
Here's Stelno from the faceoff, back of his own goal. Gretzky tried to steal it, but Gusarov gets it into center ice. Here's Bekov moving in, but that play offside. Homatov, number 15, in ahead of the play. Offside at the Team Canada blue line. Tell me they nicknamed him the Rat in the Soviet Union.
It reminds people a little bit of Linsman. He's a very small but shifty kind of a forward, very much like Bekov for the Soviet team, but he's been in the Soviet Major League now for 7 years, played in the 81 and 84 Canada Cup, so this is his third time round here.
Here's Canada with a 1-goal lead now. Carrying is Hartsburg into Gilmore, tipped it in, but broken up and shot back out by Perbukin. Cleared back in by Canada. And now Fedotov back to get it to Semyonov, number 30. Semyonov rips a long one. And it's handled by Fuhr. Now Hartsburg controlling for Canada. Less than 7 minutes to play in the second period. Canada can't get it out. Now they will as Gartner intercepts. Here he comes with Sutter. Gartner rips a drive, caught by Beloshakin. And he was halfway to the blue line by the time they whistled that one down.
And Sutter had him lined up, too, with that puck in his hands.
Canada 3, the Soviets 2, 6:36 left in the second period. Nemchinov against Messier. Messier getting the draw. They drop it back, but Murphy couldn't hold it in. And Bourque has to hustle back. Over to Murphy. Out on the left wing side to Messier. He drops it back to Murphy again. Murphy loses to Nemchinov, but recovered and is able to clear it. And Fetisov has to go back for the Soviets. His clearing pass knocked down by Fryakin, but cleared away by Murphy again to Howard Chuck to Anderson. Anderson pulled down by Nemchinov, and there'll be a penalty there. Here's Bourque for Canada. Into the corner on the delayed penalty. Giving it to Howard Chuck. Centered and tipped away by the Soviets. That stops play. And Nemchinov of the Soviets, number 12, will get a holding penalty right here.
14:04 of the period. Here it comes as trying to move in was Anderson, and he just wrestled to the ice. Tempo of this game is what's causing a lot of these holding penalties and so on. Speed the forwards are managing to build up coming through center ice. They're turning and getting the lead pass, and they're on the fly coming in on the defenseman.
Canada with a power play coming up right here on the night. Canada 0 for 2 with the man advantage. Coming into this game tonight, by the way, Canada with a 25% with the man advantage. They were 8 for 32 coming in.
They need a goal right here. The Soviets have stayed right with them despite the large margin of play that Canada had in the first period.
Nemchinov, by the way, gets his third penalty of this game. How about this power play? But Makarov breaks away. Coffey chasing him. Here's Makarov, and Coffey headed him off. Speed against speed. Here's Makarov to Krutov. He moves and scores! Short-handed goal! And that's the Soviets' third in 3 games against Canada. And it ties it at 3-3.
Well, they got the two of them inside the zone controlling the puck, both Makarov and Krutov. Now the defenseman will start to chase a little bit. Great effort by Makarov right here. Goes right by one defenseman. Now watch the defense start to chase a little bit on Makarov, who's cheating just a little bit, and he got that angle. He spread him out a bit. And what a wrist shot that was. Right under the glove of Grant Fuhr.
Krutov getting the goal, his 7th of this tournament. A shorthanded goal. And that's their 3rd shorthanded goal in 3 games against Canada. Canada still in a power play, but now it's all even at 3 apiece. Here's Hartsburg off the boards to Anderson. Into center ice to Murphy. Murphy winding it around on the boards. Goulet into the corner. Now Glenn Anderson. Anderson gets tied up. Makarov and Anderson fight for it. Hartsburg held it in. To Goulet. Goulet trying to center. Here's Gusarov trying to get it up. Murphy held it in. Into the corner for Dale Howard-Chuck. Fired it in front. Knocked away by Fetisov. And now Makarov trying to work it out of there. Held in by Goulet. His shot blocked. Goulet has to hustle back as Makarov is after the loose puck. And Hartsburg takes over. Hartsburg tied up. Krutov on the play. Now Makarov will carry in. And Howard-Chuck has it for Canada. 38 seconds left in the penalty. Here's Dale Howard-Chuck. Giving it to Larry Murphy. Cross rink to Hartsburg. Hartsburg trying to center to Gretzky. Into Lemieux. They center. Goulet a whack at it. Rolls through the crease and Beckhoff has it. He's checked. Now Gretzky at the side of the net. In front, Lemieux fanned on it. Here's Mario Lemieux. Into the corner for Messier. Fetisov trying to clear it. Bourque held it in. Beckhoff blocks it, and here's a 2-on-1 Soviet break. Now 3-on-1. Homatov in front to Beckhoff. Tipped wide. And again, the Soviets just at the tag end of that penalty had a dangerous chance. Now Lemieux trying to steal it. He can't. Goulet overskates the puck, and back comes Beckhoff. Beckhoff with Homatov now leaving it there. And Bourque cleared it, and here's Gretzky with Lemieux. 2-on-1 break. Gretzky to Lemieux. Scores!
I don't know what Yellow Shaken thought, but he's got the 2 greatest forwards in the game today coming at him. What are you going to do? Not much you can do. Watch it go by. Gretzky going to his forehand, feeding it over. Lemieux.
Mario Lemieux's 8th goal of this tournament. He leads all snipers. And Canada has the lead again at 4-3.
Gretzky now with 3 points on the night.
16:32 the time of the goal. Canada right back. Sutter to Gilmore, shoots, and Bellow taken. A stick save. Gardner with the puck. Sutter tried to center. Now Semyonov able to clear it into center ice. Rossman firing it back in, and it's offside at the Soviet blue line. Well, if you want to have a nightmare, have a 2-on-1 with Gretzky and Lemieux coming down on you.
Coming up on our second intermission, we're going to have the head coach of the Soviet Union, Viktor Tikhonov, in conversation with Dan Matheson. Dr. Ian McDonald of Hockey Canada will be joining Dan. Dan Kelly will be around with the Toyota scoreboard, and Brad Park with his analysis and highlights. All that coming up in the second intermission of a very, very interesting and exciting hockey game here at the Copps Coliseum in Hamilton.
4-3, Canada leading. Rochefort over to Doug Crossman, and he flips it ahead for Gardner. Bellows shaken out of the net to shoot it up on the boards. Now Sutter with help from Gilmore, but the Soviets Lomakin breaks out of there. Lomakin leaving it. Rochefort there to clear it. Failed to get it out. Now does to Gilmore with Sutter. 2-on-2 break. Gilmore to Sutter. Shoots one. Bellows shaking the save. Sutter into the corner. And back up the Soviets the other way. Semak, number 18. And Lomakin shot blocked by Crossman. Centered. Misses Semak, who was alone in the slot. And the Soviets are back and get it. Stelnov clearing it in. Doug Crossman there. And he flips it out and flipped it over the glass. 2:14 left in the second period.
And Team Canada leading it 4-2. A very important goal from Lemieux and Gretzky. Now there is Sutter, I think, moving right in up against the boards. And this was a lingering kind of an affair. The play went all the way up the ice. They were way behind, Semyonov and Sutter. And finally, Lundqvist, Lundstrom rather, the linesman moved in and broke it all up. Meanwhile, the play had been down on the Team Canada end a second or two.
Well, the way these teams can skate, it was down there for quite a while. Here's Bork flipping it up. Gusarov, number 3, back to get it. Fires it around in the boards, held in by Murphy for Canada. Flipping it in front. Howardchuk couldn't knock it down. Now Gusarov trying to work it out of there. Bork came up to try and hold it in, couldn't, and Anderson has to go back for Canada. Got it out of the zone, and the Soviets with Pryakin take over. Pryakin banged into the boards by Messier. There's a puck flipped in by the Soviets, and Larry Murphy from the Washington Capitals back to get it. Over to Anderson, cross ice to Messier. Fired in. Here's Anderson. In with Fetisov. Knocks Fetisov down. Fetisov back up again to clear it to Makarov. And the Soviets break up. Makarov trying to get away from Gretzky, and Gretzky tied him up and flips it back in. Soviets trying to shoot it out of there. Held in by Goulet. Demario Lemieux misses him, and Gusarov beats Makarov to Larionov. We're in the final minute of the second period. Here's Krutov moving in, dropped it, and Gretzky back checking, breaks it up, and here he comes the other way. Gretzky stick handling in, Makarov intercepts. And the Soviets come right back. Krutov trying to go around Hartsburg. Coffey is there to cover up and try and flip it out. Soviets hold it in. Makarov back to Larionov, into Kasatonov. Kasatonov back of the net. Coffey ties him up, and Coffey comes up with the puck and feeds Gretzky to Lemieux. Now to Goulet. 3-on-2 break for Canada, leaving for Gretzky. Into Lemieux, into Goulet. Backhander turned aside by Bellows, shaken. And Fetisov has it with 12 seconds left. Held in by Gretzky to Lemieux. He dropped it back. Goulet was going for the bench. Now Gretzky cuts in. Leaves it. Gilmore shot off a stick over the glass. 1 second left. And Gretzky just about gave Gilmore a great scoring chance. He did, but somebody got a stick in the way.
What a great shift that line had.
And what a great shift that number 99 had.
This is a terrific play, of course, as Gretzky stole the puck right at the line. Just lifted a stick, pulled it away, now chips it free, and he's alone. A bouncing puck to deal with, which allowed Fetisov to get set, so he set up Gilmore, who had his shot deflect over top of the net. But Gretzky and Lemieux and company, that last shift they had, what a way to finish a period.
Just 1 second left. Gretzky with 3 assists tonight. And it's some people been able to finish off some other plays. He might have 5. Just time for the drop of the puck here between Lemieux and Beckhoff. 1 second left in the second period.
Look at him line up in front there. It's like a conga line. They pulled the goaltender, too.
Yeah, Canada was 6 men up there with just the 1 second left.
You like to hope it'll be almost 2 seconds. It shows 1 on the clock, but it can be, 1 4/5.
Lemieux tried to scoop it. It was blocked by Beckhoff, and the second period comes to an end. Canada out shooting the Soviets in that period, 12-9. In the game, 29 shots for Canada, 22 for the Soviets. and a 1-goal lead for Canada with 20 minutes left.
Different kind of period than the first period, but in its own way just as exciting, as the Soviets have mounted a comeback and now trail by just 1.
This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. And you look at the Soviets get ready for period number 3.
Well, the interesting thing about 2 of those goals, the special teams for Canada kind of let down. A power play goal by Fetisov was the first one. Then Krutov scoring a shorthanded goal. But then that Lemieux goal put Canada back in front. Lemieux has had a total of 6 shots on goal in the game. Twice as many as Coffey, who has 3, and Anderson, who has 3 for Canada. For the Soviet Union, Lomakin has 3. Semyonov has 3. And that's the way it stands as Canada goes into this third period. And I think the fatigue factor is going to be very much present here in this third period. Canada, we'll just see what the 6 weeks has done for Canada in terms of conditioning.
Here we go at the third period. Fetisov to Makarov. He fires it. Comes to Krutov. Number 9. He moves in. Centers. Makarov was there, but Rochefort slid out and made a good play. And then Crossman chips it into center ice to Howard-Chuck to Messier. He flies in on left wing. Messier for Canada. Leaving it for Anderson. Shoots. Mello shaking a save. And Fetisov knocked the puck down with a hand pass where they really closed his hand on it, and they whistled the play down.
Gloved it and held it and turned and went behind the net. And that's again, look at the wrap that Messier takes behind the net, and still he carried on into the corner. Will make the play to his teammate Anderson. Anderson got the room. A little pick was run in there, a quick shot, and as it hopped into the air, it was Fetisov who came behind the net, picked it out of midair, and closed his glove on it. So that was the reason for the whistle and a face-off deep in the Soviet end.
Canada with a forward line of Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, and Goulet. Bekov, who seems to take most of their important face-offs, out against Gretzky. And Kamensky breaks out for the Soviets as Homatov with him. And Hartsburg uses the poke check to break it up. Here's Lemieux, too far for Goulet. And Gusarov is back for the Soviets. Over to little Bekov, number 27, to Kamensky. Now at center, Homatov shooting, and he blasted that just wide. Here's Hartsburg. Flips it high into center ice. Stelnov, number 4. Out to Bekov. Coffey checks him, and Mario Lemieux dropping it back to Hartsburg, off the boards to Gretzky. Gretzky into Coffey. Coffey trying to center for Gretzky. He gets it in front, and Goulet panned on it. And Lomakin is able to clear it out of there. Coffey knocking it down. Now it comes to the line, and Murphy has it for Canada. Canada with a 4-3 lead. Gretzky, number 99, down right wing. Into the zone, but Semyonov checked him. Now Gilmore waiting for Lemieux to get onside. Dropping it back. And here comes Murphy. Over onto the wing to Lemieux. Nick Mario loses that duel with Pervukin, and here's Lomakin. Trying to center one. Does. Semak shot block. Now loose in front. Semyonov off the goal post. Semyonov hits the post. There's another clearing play. And Canada, with Sutter able to shoot it to center. Semyonov, who just hit the post, I believe for the second time in this game, flips it up the ice. Sutter tips it in for Canada. Shot around onto the boards. Doug Gilmore. Back of the net to Gardner. Got it in front, but cleared away by Nemchinov. Held in by Crossman. Now Sutter with the puck. Sutter checked, and Semak feeds it into center ice. Priyakin loses it. Here's Crossman off the boards, but Priyakin has it again. Number 22, Priyakin, partially banned on the shot. Back comes Canada. Here's Gardner. Gardner shooting, and it's high off the glass. And back the other way, Humalev. Humalev moving into Priyakin, trying to center. Fuhr the save, and then he reaches out and smothered the rebound. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Well, we'll be looking for short shifts from Team Canada the rest of the way. Here's Gartner, number 12. Big move at the blue line. And then that big slap shot of his. And missed the top corner. And the other end is Fuhr. And they come, Priakin. And that would seem to kind of drop on Fuhr. And really caused him some difficulty. I think it came out of a screen. He didn't see the shooter.
Here's the big green unit for the Soviets out there again. Larionov, Krutov, Makarov, Konstantinov, and Fetisov. On the face-off, Canada winning the draw with Messier, and Rochefort fell on the play. Anderson comes back to bail that situation out. Anderson pinned in there by Makarov. Now Krutov in as well. Anderson trying to hold them both off. And then he just fell on top of the puck.
Glenn Anderson, who's had an uphill struggle in this tournament. He was hurt during the training camp, didn't open the tournament. And then when he started to play, he just looked terribly slow. The knees coming along really slowly, but now he's skating at full speed, and he's very effective out there, especially working with his teammates, and he's out there now with Messier.
Messier against Larionov on this face-off. Messier wins it, and Doug Crossman controls. Crossman trying to fire it out for Messier. Goes all the way down, and Fetisov chases back to get it for the Soviets. That's Anderson in forechecking. Howard Chuck knocks it back in for Canada. Konstantinov takes Howard Chuck out. Fetisov cleared it. Knocked down by Messier, but he couldn't control it. Now Anderson holding it in. Shot wide. Howard Chuck into the corner. Konstantinov. Big, strong Soviet defenseman, and the Soviets break out of there. Here's Krutov. Crossman skating him off. Knocked back of the goal, and Rochefort is there for Canada. Rochefort got it to the line, but not out. Now they do clear it out, and here's Gusarov, leaving it for Fetisov to Krutov. Krutov stick handling beautifully. Still has it. In front. Oh, and Pekov's shot was blocked, and here's Gretzky quickly to Prop. Prop tried to get it back, but Gusarov knocked it down. Now a lead pass to Gretzky. Stelnov is there for the Soviets. To Kamensky. Number 13, Kamensky. Into center ice to Homatov. Homatov moving in. To Bekov, backhand, he scores! Bekov ties this game at 4-4.
Great backhand shot. Always the most difficult shot for a goaltender to handle because of the angle it comes off the stick. Here comes the shot, and nothing Fuhr could really do. Nice play in front, and here's the backhand. And he picked the short side on it. Terrific backhand shot. Pretty good effort there as the puck is cleared to the wing. And we've got a tie hockey game.
Homatov will get an assist.
Assisted by number 15.
Now Canada with Mario Lemieux in control. He's out there with Gilmore and Gartner. They dump it in. But no top there to clear it back out. And Canada has to chase back. Here's Raymond Bourque. Bourque passing to Lemieux. He gets tied up. Murphy trailing on the play, moving it to Mario Lemieux. Lemieux cutting in. Got it in front. Out Gilmore into the corner. Number 28, Gilmore for Canada. Back of the net to Lemieux. Shoots. Hello, shaking the save. Gartner couldn't get the rebound shot away. And the Soviets clear it with Bourque back to get it to Lemieux. Over to Gilmore. Semyonov intercepts that. Up cleared back in, and Gilmore was trapped in there offside in the play. 4-4 here in the third period. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Behind the bench there, you see standing up Sergei Melnikov, the backup goaltender. They won't even give him a seat. He's been standing the whole game.
4-4 here in the third period. Canada had a 3-1 lead. They had a 4-3 lead coming into this period. Here's Humalep, number 8, stick handling. Gets it to Nemchinov, number 12. Now Nemchinov trying to stick handle in deeper. Gets it in front. Fiora there to clear it. And Canada start back with Anderson. Anderson flipping it down. Batisov back to get it. And it's Priakin breaking out. Priakin, checked by Goulet, just flips it in. Hartsburg back for Canada. To Michel Goulet. He flips it into center. Makarov knocking it down. Here's Makarov stick handling in. Hilarianov shoots. Fiora came out, made the save. Hartsburg clears the rebound. And back comes Messier. Messier feeding it through. That's broken up now. Another chance for Canada. Here's Lemieux. Shoots one. That deflected and went wide. Back comes Kurutov. He's taken out of the play, and Gretzky takes control for Canada. Nice little lead pass for Murphy. Into Lemieux. Lemieux back to Murphy. Missed him with it. And Krutov clears to Makarov. Makarov trying to break in. Fiora clears it up onto the wing for Gilmore. He couldn't handle it. Now Gilmore gets another try. Bekoff back on the point. Shot by Gusarov is just wide. And it bounces to center. Fedotov back to his defense mate. Now to Bekoff. In on the wing. Kamensky moves in. Shoots wide. Here's Fedotov. But Gretzky trying to break it up. Now he drops it back for Larry Murphy. That's Homatov over to check. Cleared to center to Lemieux. Down to Gilmore and Gretzky. Here's Lemieux to Gretzky. Gretzky trying to get it in front. The Bork shot deflects wide. Canada again trying to give it to that late man or the trailer. Back is Bekoff. And now down in the corner, an injured Soviet player, Homatov, number 15. And he's in pain. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Andrei Homatov racked up in the corner. There's the collision back in there as he took a slash across the midsection as the puck was moving up ice. Soviet Union out shooting Canada 4-1 at this stage of the third period.
Another factor in this game, Ron, Soviets have used 4 lines. Canada with just 10 forwards, really using just 3 lines with an extra player, and that could be a factor as this third period rolls along. Puck cleared to center by the Soviets. Coffey has it there. Canada 4, the Soviets 4. Flipped into center ice and dumped in by Brian Propp. Now Perbukin trying to clear it. Coffey held it in. Centers to Gartner. Gartner's shot. That went high and wide. Now centered. Propp a whack at it. Cleared by the Soviets. Here is Crossman. Back of the net. Drop back. Here's Gartner. Feigned on it. And Semak has a break. Coffey trying to get back. Semak shoots. Shot it wide on the short side. Oh, a dangerous break there. Soviets continue to put pressure on. Now Semak gives it to Lomakin. Lomakin with the puck. Getting it in front to Semyonov. Shoots. Fiora the save. They score, but a high stick, no goal. Semyonov definitely with his stick up above his shoulders, knocked it into the net. Called back immediately, no goal. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
If Team Canada is to win this hockey game, that guy is going to have to play a monumental role. Puck went up in the air and was just batted in behind him. Semyonov, number 30, right there. But Grant Fuhr, the pressure is going to be on him because Canada is clearly tired. They're starting to make mistakes out there. They need a break and then some great goaltending.
11:14 left in regulation time. Canada 4, Soviets 4. Soviets work at the center. Glenn Anderson trying to knock it down. Now Kasatonov picks it up, and he scoops it in. Back to get it is Murphy for Canada, quickly flipping it out of there. Kasatonov back for the Soviets. Cleared it into center. Now Murphy scooping it high into the Soviets end of the rink. Batisov is there. Batisov almost coughed it up. Now it comes to Canada's line. Murphy off the boards for Goulet. Here's Michel Goulet. Passing it to Bork. In across the line, and Chinov broke it up. Held in by Goulet, but Bryakin carries out for the Soviets. Anderson for Canada. Leaving it for Bork. Long shot. And Bellows shaking the save, and he came out and held it for a faceoff. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
One thing's pretty clear, Dan, that Bellows-Shakin gives up those long rebounds. Canada can get in there if they've got the speed going for them to get in there for them. But in that case, going for it was Glenn Anderson. But he was tripped up by Larionov as he tried to go for the net.
Here's a line of Gretzky, Lemieux, and Prop for Canada. Gretzky to Lemieux. Back to Crossman at the point. Behind the net to Gretzky. Gretzky centered. Prop. Shoot shot wide. Penalty coming up to Gusarov for the Soviets. And Canada will get a power play right here.
Good penalty from a Soviet standpoint. And Canada goes on the power play. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. That's Brian Propp on the bench. He just drew a penalty. He was all alone, and about the only thing that Gusarov could do, number 3, watch the side of the net, is haul him down, because Propp, who was a pretty good sniper, would have picked a corner on that pass out by Gretzky. So Gusarov for hooking at 9:52. Canada 0-2, 0 for 2 in the power play department in this game. They desperately need one now.
And they gave up a shorthanded goal to the Soviets earlier. They're third in as many games, so that's a factor because of how dangerous these Soviets are, even when they're shorthanded. Here's Mario Lemieux. Back to Bork. Shot deflects. Comes to Gretzky. Gretzky to Bork. Side of the net to Lemieux. Back to Bork again. Over to Coffey. Coffey to Lemieux. Back to Bork to Coffey. Shoots. Bellows shaking the save. Rebound. They score! Mario Lemieux!
Oh, they moved it around. That's Coffey's shot. The rebound, Gretzky, Lemieux. Boy, this has been a story all night long, these two guys. That's Lemieux's 7th shot on goal. His 2nd goal of the night. Oh, nothing Bellows-Shakin could do. He tried to handle the 1 rebound.
And it will be Gretzky's 4th assist of this game.
That's right.
Power play goal, 5-4 Canada. Mario Lemieux, 2nd of the night, is 9th of this series. Still 9:46 left in regulation time.
Now it's hang on time.
Here we go. Canada with the lead again. Near the Soviet line, cleared up, and here's Kamensky poking it in. Rochefort there to fire it back out. And it's taken by Perbukin, number 5, to Beckhoff. Rochefort checks him, and Messier for Canada. Gives it to Glenn Anderson. Anderson having difficulty. Rochefort there to cover up. And here's Rochefort stick handling up ice. Into the Soviet zone for Rochefort. Back of the net for Dotov. Quickly clearing it out. And it's taken by Howard-Chuck. Back to Crossman. To Dale Howard-Chuck. He gets tied up at the line. Howard-Chuck continues to battle. But now Beckhoff to Homatov. Here's Homatov, number 15. Shot blocked at the defense and then kicked out by Bork. Held in, another shot blocked by Bork. And Bork clears it to Anderson. Anderson firing it in. Brent Sutter in to get it. Bellows-Shakin clearing it around. Beckhoff there. Sutter in to hammer him. Here's Stelno. Over in the other corner to Gusarov. Fires it out into center ice. Murphy for Canada. Beckhoff takes over for the Soviets. Pass goes into center ice, and Bork fires it back in. Here's Gusara. Long lead pass, misses everyone. Goes the length of the ice. Bork back to touch it, icing against the Soviets. 8:11 left in regulation time. 5-4 in favor of Canada.
Well, the thing you ought to like about what's happening right now on the ice is Canada is trying to hem them in their own zone. Difficult to score from there. Some great forechecking. Sutter in the middle of all of that. And Mike Keenan. This crowd, if there's anything going to give them the extra adrenaline they might need, because I'll tell you, it is a tired Team Canada right now. This crowd may be that little extra spur. They are really on it. The last goal, Mario Lemieux from Gretzky and Coffey at 10-14 on the power play, their first of the game, in which they've been successful.
Here the Soviets with Semyonov, number 30, moves in. Shot blocked by Crossman, couldn't clear it. Now Semak back of the net. Gretzky there to check him. And Prop beats Lemieux. One-on-one against Batista. Here's Big Mario. Trying to move in, gets tied up. Looking to pass it, does. Prop right in. Shoots. Beloshakin the save. Another shot, and Beloshakin stopped that. Good chances there for Canada. Here's Crossman back in his own zone. Over to Coffey, back to Doug Crossman. And he flips it in. Batista back for the Soviets. Over for Pervukin. Out to Bekov. Coffey intercepting. Coffey to Murphy. Murphy off the board. Shot into the Soviet zone. Batista back to try and clear it. Now Glenn Anderson bumping in there. Anderson trying to come up with the puck. Does to Murphy. Big shot. It's blocked and the Soviets break out. But Bork comes up aggressively to knock it back in. Here's Pervukin. Ahead for Pumalet, number 8. Less than 7 minutes to play. Long shot. And it's cleared by Fuhr to Anderson. Going back is Bork. Out to Goulet, who's able to take the man out of the play and let the puck get out of there. And the Soviets, Fedotov clearing it. Here's Gilmore for Canada. He just flips it up near the Soviet line. Pervukin cleared it. Gilmore intercepts. Drops it back to Murphy. Murphy firing it in. Digging in is Mike Gartner. Gartner to Sutter. Sutter back to Gartner. Back of the net. Into the other corner. Gilmore against Fedotov. Gilmore holding it in. Gilmore trying to get loose. Fedotov took him out. And Makarov has it for the Soviets. 6:10 left in regulation time. Good play by Gilmore to break up a Makarov rush. Cleared back in. Now Lariana feeding it across. Shot into center ice. Here's Makarov for the Soviets. To Krutov to Makarov. Chipped away at the defense. And Canada come back. Gartner trying to break out of there. 5:46 left in regulation time. Rochefort for Canada. Canada with a 5-4 lead. They dump it in. Stelno back to get it. Howardchuk into forecheck. Howardchuk against Stelno. Now Stelno at the other side, and Gretzky's on top of him. Lemieux coming up with a to Gretzky. Gretzky shoots wide with a big slap shot. And the Soviets take over and start to move out. Stelno into center ice to Homatov. Homatov checked in the play. And Canada, Howardchuk cleared it. Now it comes back to the blue line. And Bork for Canada fires it to center. Here's Gretzky. 5 minutes left. Gretzky with Lemieux. Pass to Lemieux. Over top of the net this time as the puck went on in. Now Mario Lemieux in the corner to Gretzky. Bekov intercepting. And the Soviets clear it out. 4:45 left in regulation time. What action here in Hamilton.
Oh, this is just wonderful.
5-4, Canada leading. Kamensky for the Soviets. Leaving it for Lomakin. Good play by Messier to break it up. And Canada come back with a lead pass to Prop. To Anderson. Shoots. Big save, Beloshakin. Round on the boards for Messier. He couldn't get it. And Homatov beats Bekov. Now to Lomakin. Back to Bekov. 4:15 left in regulation time. Soviets. Semak shoots one. Saved by Fuhr on the short side. And Brian Prop for Canada cleared at the center. Kasatonov has it there. Clearing one. Here's Semyonov, moves in, shoots. Pure the save, rebound. Crossman just tipped that away. And then Canada clear at the center. Makarov with a pass. Coffey breaks it up. 3-on-2, Canada break. Coffey moving in. Tried to center, but it was offside at the Soviet line. What action here in Hamilton. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Approximately without a whistle. And look at this. Here's Gretzky. Lemieux chipped it over top of the net. How about this one from the other end? Pure. One of the few chances the Soviets got. I'll tell you, you won't find a better period of hockey to see a team protect a lead. Canada almost perfect when it comes to the defense right now.
Here's a loose puck with Mike Gartner trying to break in. Priakin checks in. And Priakin fires it in for the Soviets. Pure back of the net. Fires it up high on the glass. And Canada able to carry out with Larry Murphy. 3:25 left in regulation time. There's Gartner in to try and get it. Soviets break out. It's Priakin. 2 men back for Canada. Priakin trying to move in. Murphy stares into the corner. Centered. Nobody could get a stick on it. Stelno back of the net. And it's taken by Gilmore for Canada. Out to Brent Sutter. Back to Doug Gilmore. Gilmore flipping it in, and the play is offside. Sutter jumped the gun on the right side at the Soviet line. 3 minutes left in regulation time.
Well, it's almost as you look at Brent Sutter head for the bench. These are the guys, of course, the Sutters and so on, that are charged with trying to keep the Soviets off the board the rest of the way. We have now watched a full game and an overtime and almost a full game here. And what has been decided? These two teams are so close.
There's Krutov shooting it in for the Soviets. Brian Propp there to fire it back out. And the Soviets, Larionov will go back, and this is going to be icing against Canada. 2:46 remaining, and the Soviets with a key face-off coming up in Team Canada's end of the rink.
Well, we'll see who takes the draw down in the Team Canada end. They've got the Larionov line out there. I want to bet that Gretzky comes out.
Well, I'd say Messier.
Messier is.
He hops out there against Larionov.
That's right, yeah. Now, this will be a very big face-off with 2:46 remaining. The one thing that Canada did, the crowd got going and Canada got going after they got the goal. It was almost like a shot of adrenaline, because the team that was dead tired suddenly really picked it up and took it to the Soviets in their own end, and that was the key to it. And at this stage,
Canada's Messier does the job, wins the faceoff, and Crossman trying to get it out of there, tipped it on the boards, comes back to Doug Crossman. Now fired by Messier to center ice. Here's Makarov. Bork breaks him up, or a leg rush up at the blue line, and here's Howardchuk flipping it into the Soviet zone. Fetisov back to get it. Makarov into center ice, over to Krutov. Krutov diving check by Howardchuk. And then Murphy comes up with it. Couldn't clear it out, but it is carried out now to center. And here's Howardchuk. He couldn't control it. Now Anderson trailing, intercepting one. Anderson centers, knocked away, and the Soviets clear it to Krutov. 2 minutes left in regulation time. Homatov spun around by Howardchuk. Canada coming back with Messier, firing it in. Here's Gilmore shooting off the blocker. Bellow shaken, and now Lemieux in there to try and steal it. Here's Gilmore charging in. Soviets break out. Back off, but Gretzky is there to back check. Here's Fedotov trying to carry in. And Murphy stands his ground, and then the play is offside at the Team Canada line. 1:32 left in regulation time.
Larry Murphy, they're all the defense playing well right now, but two patterns have followed the last couple of nights, and one of them is the defense tightens up, but the other has been some terrific play in the third period for Team Canada by Doug Gilmore. What a third period he has played defensively. It's almost like he has stronger legs than the rest of them. He hasn't played as much as some in this tournament.
He's out there now discussing strategy with Wayne Gretzky. It's Gretzky, Gilmore, and Lemieux, the forward line. Canada clear at the center, but Dotop trying to shoot it back in. Rochefort is there to clear it. Gretzky tipped it, and they roll it off a Soviet player, so there's no icing. 1:20 left in regulation time. Here's Bekov. Gets to center. Trying to clear it. Gretzky back checking. Got it to Gilmore. Gilmore flipped it into center ice. Here's Kamensky trying to break through. Shoots. He scores! Kamensky with a brilliant goal ties this game up with 1:04 left.
Oh, what a goal. The defense didn't play the man on this. They got backing in, and Kamensky just got between Rochefort, and I think it was Crossman in there, but this great speed, and he just got a little bit of a march. Tried to tackle him. Crossman came across, but then Kamensky just fighting his way past what was almost a tackle by Rochefort.
You got to give him full marks. What a brilliant goal.
Oh, yeah.
Game with 1:04 left in regulation time.
Assisted by number 27,
Bekov gets an assist. As does Perbukin, but it was mainly the brilliant individual effort of Kamensky, who was the hero of the second game at Rendezvous in Quebec City.
Just knifed through the defense. He got such a good jump as he got that puck, and he just split it. And does overtime loom once again.
Soviets, by the way, have called a timeout here.
The goal came at the 18:56 mark. Perbukin and Bekov from Kamensky. Rochefort and Crossman. He got around. Well, three guys trailing on him. That was just individual effort.
5-5 with 1:04 left in regulation time. Messier against Lariana. Canada from the faceoff, controlling it with Crossman. We're in the final minute of regulation time. Flipped in at Fetisov. There to beat it to Makarov. Now to Karutov. He moves in and knocking it down and carrying back out for Canada. This Crossman flipped in. Soviets quickly fire it right back out, and Krutov picks it up. Krutov to Lariana. Lariana moving in, trying to center, did, but Krutov was well in check. Now Fetisov at the point. His shot wide. 25 seconds left. Coffey to Murphy. Canada break away. Gardner was in the clear, but the pass knocked down by Fetisov. Fetisov playing it up the boards near the Canadian line, and Murphy shoots it back in. Kasatonov is there. Now Gilmore for Canada. 8 seconds left. Flipping it in. Fetisov there to wind it around on the boards. And it's Krutov clearing to center. We will have sudden death overtime for the second game in a row in this final series between the Soviets and Canada. And credit a brilliant move by Valery Kamensky to tie it with 1:04 to play and send it into overtime.
Well, what can you say after two full hockey games? We are in our second straight overtime game. What a goal. Nothing you can say about that is more than it was brilliant. And Canada now faces overtime again.
After 60 minutes, it's Canada 5, the Soviets 5. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. Welcome back to the Cubs Coliseum in Hamilton for sudden death overtime. Our Toyota scoring summary brought to you by Toyota, makers of Cressida, the luxurious Grand Touring sedan. Who could ask for anything more? Third period, Soviets tied the game. Bekov at 4:45. Mario Lemieux with his 9th goal at 10:14 on a power play. And then Kamensky at 18:56 to tie it. A Rocket Richard type goal. Brilliant individual effort. And it's tied as we head into sudden death overtime. And really, as I watch that replay of Kamensky, it brings back visions of the Rocket and some of his big clutch goals with the Canadians back in the 50s.
Climbing and clawing his way through the defense to get his shot on goal. A couple of items to clean up here as we go into the overtime. This game has been tied 4 different times tonight. The game on Friday night, the first game of the final, also tied 4 times. That's how close it has been. 2 overtime games. The Soviets tied it up on Friday night with 2:27 to play. Tonight at 1:04 to play. And one other note, Wayne Gretzky, who is the tournament scoring leader, has assisted on the goal scoring leader in the tournament. 7 of his 9 goals. Mario Lemieux has 9 goals. Gretzky has assists on 7 of those.
This game being seen by a large part of the world this evening.
Wonder what they're thinking about as they watch this in Malaysia and Thailand, down in New Zealand. They play hockey there. New Zealand, that is.
Here we go with sudden death. Messier winning the face-off, and it's immediately into the Soviet zone. But Tisov trying to clear it. Bork held it in. Now Anderson in on the boards. But Tisov goes back the other way to Kasatonov, to Makarov down right wing. Makarov moving in, leaving it there. Here's Krutov, put it in front, and Fior came out, and Krutov tripped over it. Back come Canada. Here's Anderson moving in on right wing. Glenn Anderson to Messier. Messier back of the net. Messier trying to drop it back, and it comes into center ice. Mark Messier to Bork of the Boston Bruins for Team Canada. Now to Anderson to Messier. Messier in with Lemieux, and they whistle that down in an offside. Lemieux in ahead of the play over on right wing.
Just a step as he got a little over anxious. Messier coming in over the line. You'll see short chips. Good chance, of course, anytime you see Makarov and Krutov out there. And Krutov with that speed got around the defense. Bork just leaning back tried to get enough of a stick on Krutov's stick to prevent any play. And the puck wound up in the corner.
You see the scoring leaders, topped by Gretzky with 18 points. Here are the Soviets firing it around on the boards. Gusarov cleared it in. Loose puck in front, but as soon as the Team Canada player touched the puck, the play is called an icing call, and it will come back down deep into the Soviet end of the ring.
Well, we mentioned the fatigue factor during the third period. There's a stretch there where Team Canada did not look fatigued at all. As a matter of fact, it looked like the Soviets might have been fatigued. But I would think, the longer we go in this, I think if Team Canada had its druthers, they'd like to get the goal early.
Gretzky, Goulet, and Lemieux ready on a faceoff. Bekoff against Gretzky. Gretzky the draw. Back on the point. Shot is up high. Over top of the net as Crossman let it go. Soviets clear it. Here's Crossman to Paul Coffey. He cleared it. Soviets hustling back to touch the puck, and it's going to be icing against Canada. And now the pressure on Canada with a big face-off in their end of the ring.
Well, we'll see how the Soviets send out for this face-off. They make the changes. They're well aware of we watched Tikhonov on the bench, Soviet Union. See the big guy standing behind him. I asked Igor Dmitriev who the fittest guy and the strongest guy on his team. The guy standing right behind Tikhonov is the trainer. He's been coming here for years. And he says that guy is the strongest guy on our team.
Here's Semak, who scored the overtime winner in Montreal on the face-off, and Messier wins the draw. Bork has it for Canada. Bork trying to move it out of there, dropping it back with a little pass to Anderson. Now to Gartner. Gartner moving in. Gartner shoots. That'll shake in the save. But no chance as he throws that. And Anderson went barging in to try and get a loose puck.
I think in this overtime you're going to see a lot of whistles. We went long stretches where the play was constantly in. But here, Belosheikin's not going to take any chances. He just covers it up, really, with a man of his own right there, but with Team Canada moving in. So we've had a couple of icings. We've had about 4 whistles here in the first minute and 29 seconds of the period. And, of course, each time a whistle comes, each team makes a change.
Canada sending out Gretzky, Lemieux, and Goulet. Soviets counter with Nemchinov, Pryakin, and Humalev.
Soviets have got the last change here as the home team, but they don't bother matching. And I asked again Dmitriev, who has become the spokesman rather than Tikhonov for the hockey club, said, have you ever tried to kind of match lines? He says, yes, we tried. At one point in the first game we tried, and every time we tried, Keenan rather sent Gretzky out. So he says, we just gave up.
Now Gretzky comes to talk to the referee about something.
That was Dmitriev, by the way, you saw in the foreground of the picture on the bench. Some say he will eventually be the head coach of the Soviet national team, which I guess will make things a lot easier on the reporting staff, because he speaks German fluently and some English.
Here's Gretzky against Nemchinov deep in the Soviet zone. They played a minute 29 of overtime, and they're going to toss Nemchinov out of there. And they'll have to send in someone else to take the face-off.
That's the Swedish linesman we have, Sven-Olof Lundström. He's not putting up with any nonsense.
Humalev against Gretzky. Gretzky the draw into the corner, but Lemieux was going the other way. And Nemchinov breaks out for the Soviets. Broken up by Crossman. Flip back near the Soviet line. Kasatonov is there. And Pryakin dumps it in for the Soviet Union. Paul Coffey back to get it. To Mario Lemieux. Held in at the point by Fetisov. Again, Fetisov holding it in, but now carrying up is Michel Goulet. Goulet scooping it in. And then Goulet gets checked from behind, and he's shaken up. No sign of a penalty being called, but Goulet is injured.
He got a stick across the face as he unloaded the shot into the corner, and he just went down like he'd been poleaxed. You know, when you get a stick around the eyes like this, just checking on, looked like it rode up on him. There it is. Took it right across the face. And so he's checking to see if all of the ivories are there or not.
It was Pryakin who got the stick up on Goulet, number 22.
That's one of those plays where you're checking and trying to hook and interfere with the player. It happens sometimes. Everything seems to be there.
Now Messier back out there with Anderson and Gardner. Face-off at the Soviet line. The Soviets' big 5 out there. Larionov, Makarov, and Krutov with Fetisov and Kasatonov on defense. Canada shoot it in. Kasatonov trying to clear it. Bork pinching in. Bork shot blocked, and the Soviets get it to Krutov. Krutov working in. And a good defensive play by Murphy to break it up. And here's Anderson into center ice to Messier. He gets tied up, and Bork circles back for Canada. Bork clearing it into center, into the Soviet zone, and Kasatonov is back after it. He's checked by Gardner. It's knocked back of the net, but Fetisov is there. And here come the Soviets. Krutov to Larionov. Murphy tips it away for Canada. Messier took a man out of the play, and here's Anderson. Anderson ahead to Messier, called back on a 2-line offside pass.
There's Mark Messier, a monumental figure. If I were going to pick one player who has been there every game from the opening bell to this point in the tournament, it would be Mark Messier. This is the 8th game of the tournament. He has played every shift the same way. We mentioned earlier in the telecast how intimidating he is.
Here the Soviets with a long shot. Pure handling it, and Coffey has it for Canada. Coffey out to Lemieux. To Gretzky. Gretzky breaking in with Howardchuk. Pass to Howardchuk, just tipped by the Soviet defense. Bekov back the other way. 2-on-2 break. Bekov trying to go around Coffey. Slides it in front. Still loose at the side of the goal. Now back of Team Canada's net. And Canada come up with it, and Here's Lemieux getting it out of the zone. Soviets with Kamensky to Homotov. He's checked by Lemieux. Lemieux is too well tied up, and here's Kamensky. Moves in, shoots. Pure a save on Kamensky, and then Crossman cleared it up over the glass as we approach the 4-minute mark of overtime.
Very tense here in the Copps Coliseum in Hamilton. 5-5 in overtime. Little closer to the vest now. Each team afraid to make a mistake. We've watched people like Crossman's just sitting down there having big games. Team Canada with a chance here. Gretzky trying to feed it across. I don't know whether he should have taken the shot, but that defenseman was down, and he's the one that deflected it. I think Gretzky could see the play, and Howard-Chuck on the other side just never got the puck.
Sutter winning a faceoff, gets it to Gilmore. He can't get it out. Lomakin trying to center, and Rochefort has it for Canada. Team Canada trying to break it out of there. Patrick into center ice to Sutter. Sutter check, it's knocked back in, and Rochefort goes back for Canada, firing it out on the boards to Brent Sutter. He missed it, and Semyonov will have to chase back. Semyonov, number 30, fires it to center. Patrick knocks that down. Rochefort comes out and makes a play. Now Gilmore takes a man out of the play, and here's Sutter. But Semyonov intercepts his pass, firing it back in, and Murphy goes back to get it. Larry Murphy. Carrying into center ice. Fires it in. Batisov is there to clear it. Now held in by Gilmore. Lomakin getting it. And the Soviets break out. Into center ice. Humalak. A long shot. Pure got a piece of it. It ricocheted to the corner. Now Manchinov holding it in, but Bork is there to clear it. Lumalev held it in. Into the corner. Priakin can't center it, and Bork has it for Canada. Bork to Messier, just missed him with it. Soviets Priakin. Showed it back in. Murphy is there. Off the boards to Gartner. Gartner to Anderson. Glenn Anderson into center ice. To Gartner. Shot it in. Soviets clear it right back out. Kasatonov into center ice to Makarov. He played it off the boards. And Canada's Crossman back to clear it. Larionov lets it go to Batisov. Shot blocked. Now Gretzky trying to break out. Just missed Lemieux with a quick outlet pass. And down the ice it goes. Kasatonov trying to clear one. Poppy breaks it up. Over to Goulet. Goulet for Canada. Giving it to Gretzky in front to Lemieux. Rebound Gretzky. That's knocked off the puck. And Kasatonov has it for the Soviets to Makarov. Mario Lemieux for Canada. Flips it back in. Batisov there to pick it up. Now up to Larionov. Ed Manning at the Kasatonov. Soviets move in. Here's a chance. Centered. Pure, big save, rebound. Pure stopped that too. From Krutov, who twice just about ended this game.
Well, the defense got caught. And I think that the Soviets can be accused of getting a little too fancy on the play. Krutov had the best chance. Here we come. Kasatonov. There's the pass across the goal mouth by Larionov when he might have been able to shoot himself, and then the backhand shot with Pure down. But Pure never seems to lose track of the puck. Even down, he's looking at it, concentrating, and knocking it out of midair and putting his glove on it.
Soviets about shot Canada here in overtime. 6-2. Big face-off coming up deep in Canada's end of the rink. Brent Sutter will take it for Canada against Bekov for the Soviet Union. Now they get ready for the face-off. Howard-Chuck getting into position. It's Sutter, Gilmore, and Howard-Chuck for Canada. Bekov wins the draw. Gilmore back of his own net. Gilmore flipped it, knocked down by Homotov. Centered it out in front. Still loose. Another shot. And Pure had to come up big again. Centered once more. There is a shot. Gilmore blocks that. Sutter for Canada. Trying to clear it to Howard-Chuck. Howard-Chuck breaking in on right wing. Has Gilmore with him. Gives it to Gilmore. Shoots. Fellow shaken to his knees. to stop Doug Gilmour. And then a big pileup.
Well, Canada has only had the 3 shots in the period now, but they have been 3 pretty good chances. Nice little drop pass there. Howard Chuck to Gilmour. Mentioned how Gilmour had played in that 3rd period. Still very much involved. Now a big face-off down on the Soviet end.
We played 6:29 of overtime. And Canada sending out a new line. Gretzky, Lemieux, and Goulet. Semyonov will take the face-off here for the Soviets. Sudden death overtime. If Canada wins, we have a 3rd game. If the Soviets win, they win the 1987 version of the Canada Cup. Semyonov against Gretzky. Big face-off to the left of the Soviet goal. Here's Lemieux getting it, chips it into the other corner. Lemieux in to get it again to Gretzky, out in front for Gretzky. Back to Crossman. Shoots one, Bellow shaking the save. Goulet the rebound, Gretzky couldn't get to the puck as Padotov tied him up. And the Soviets then clear it out of there. Coffey going back, close call there for Canada. Coffey to Crossman, to Goulet at center. Michel Goulet moving in. Tied up by Padotov. Goulet to the corner. In comes Lemieux. And Canada forced another face-off in the Soviet zone.
Get those face-offs down there. That's what they're trying to do. Now, off the face-off, they had that good sequence. Now they'll try it from this side of the ice. Goulet piling into the corner after that puck, but everybody's playing it tough right now. Goulet running his man in against the boards. That was Pervukin, the oldest guy on the Soviet team at 31.
Now Gilmour, Howard Chuck, and Brent Sutter for Canada. Face-off, one by Gilmour to Howard Chuck to Coffey. Fires it into the corner. The Tisov is there. Howard Chuck checks in. Now to Gilmour, but he had been knocked down behind the net. Soviets on the boards. Gilmour centers. Intercepted by Humalev, and now Fetisov clears to center. Crossman back to get it. Crossman to Howard Chuck. Misses Sutter with it into the other corner. Priakin back for the Soviets. Priakin checked in the play as Howard Chuck moves in into Brent Sutter. Sutter trying to center. Round of the boards. Coffey pinching in. Coffey into the corner. Couldn't get it back. And Kasatonov clears it out of there down the ice. Canada's Murphy going back. He's going to let Coffey play the puck, and it's icing against the Soviets.
And another face-off in the Soviet zone. That's Nemchinov, number 12, having a little battle here with Howard Chuck. Now, this was just a lot of the referee looking right on Howard Chuck. Now, you're not going to, like any game, this kind of stuff you're going to get away with in an overtime. It's just a lot of holding going on. Nobody wants to let anybody get away from them. Howard Chuck saying, boy, tough sledding out there.
Messier, Anderson, and Gartner now for Canada. Larionov, Makarov, and Krutov for the Soviets. And now at the last second, Gusarov wants to go to the Soviet bench and get a new stick.
Pretty good defenseman, this Gusarov. Defensive style defenseman, but he's one of those guys that can really rough it up, play tough.
Messier on the face-off with Larionov. Soviets come up with it, and Krutov beats Makarov. He gets to center. Anderson tying him up, and Canada take control. Lead pass to Gartner. He moves in, and Gusarov took him out of the play. Onto the other side, Stelnov flipping it out, and Krutov just clears it down the ice. With Bourque back for Canada. We're in sudden death overtime as Bourque carries to center to Mike Gartner. Gartner speeding in, cuts in front, crashes into the goaltender. Now Messier knocked down, and Krutov cleared it right in front of his own net. But the Soviets are there and come to center. Here's Krutov getting the return pass, leaving it for Makarov. Checked from behind by Anderson. Back comes Gartner. Gartner to Messier. He tips it in. Canada change on the fly. Soviets Larionov flipping it into center. Here's Makarov. Trying to get away from Goulet. Does. Makarov. Checked by Lemieux from behind. Lemieux stays with him. Makarov loses to Lemieux. And Mario Lemieux feeds Gretzky. Gretzky into Goulet. Goulet to Lemieux. Lemieux can't get turned around. Now does behind the net to Gretzky. Knocked away from Gretzky. And breaking out Fedotov. To Homatop, number 15. Homatop stick handling brilliantly. Cross to Kamensky, shooting right on. And Pure the save and back the other way. Lemieux with Goulet. 2-on-2 break. Lemieux cruising, looking to center, does. Deflected and went wide. And Bekov has it for the Soviets. Here's Kamensky. Loses it. Gretzky back in with Howardchuk. Howardchuk trying to center to Sutter. Still at the side of the net, loose and Kamensky. Back for the Soviets. To Bekov. Broken up and Coffey takes over for Canada. Paul Coffey streaking down left wing. Coffey shoots up high over the glass.
Oh. How long can this go on? Team Canada, with its life on the line as a team, they lose this game and it breaks up and they head to their own training camps and they're playing like it. Paul Coffey, nobody is more exciting in the NHL on an end-to-end rush than Paul Coffey these days. Over the line, and there's the shot. Just deflected.
Shots on goal in overtime favor the Soviets 9-3.
That's deceptive, Dan. I think that the play has been a little closer than that. Canada's had 3 excellent scoring chances, the 3 shots.
Sutter, Gilmore, and Propp up front for Canada. From the face-off, Gilmore gets it, flips it in front. Propp couldn't get to it. Propp behind the net. Now comes in front, Gilmore. Knocked off the puck, and the Soviets break out of there. Number 18, Semak, who scored the winner in Game 1. Taken out of the play by Patrick. Propp knocking it back of the net. And Rochefort has it for Canada. Soviet Semyonov knocked it back of the net, and here is Propp. Out to James Patrick. Patrick flipping it in. Kosatonov back to get it for the Soviets. Right up the middle was the pass to Semyonov. Soviets breaking in Semyonov. Rochefort ties him up, and Gretzky there to clear it out. Canada get it into center ice. Semak losing it. Here's Gusarov. Hits the linesman with it. Soviets pick it up. Lomakin going in. Lomakin tied up by Rochefort. And Mario Lemieux tries to flip it up. But Tisop held it in. Back of the net goes Murphy. Larry Murphy for Canada. To Propp, who dumps it in. Beloshakin leaving it there. Stelnov has it for the Soviets. Into center ice. Chance for Humalev off the glass. Rebound. Oh, and that's fired wide by Priakin with Pure down and out of position. Here's Priakin again. Feeding it to Humalev. Back to Priakin. Missed him. Canada trying to break down, but it's fired back in by the Soviets. Soviets just had 2 great chances. Here comes Coffey for Canada. Tried to clear it in, intercepted. Makarov trying to break away. Gartner tied him up. And now Gretzky takes over for Canada. Gretzky down right wing to Doug Crossman. Goes in, shoots, Beloshakin the save. Larionov cleared the rebound. Soviets with Perbukin clearing it to center to Makarov. Makarov trying to stick handle in. Does, centered it. No one there, comes to Perbukin. Fired it behind the net. And Bourque flips it to Glenn Anderson. Anderson for Canada to Murphy. Round on the boards to Bourque. 7.5 minutes left in the first overtime. Here's Bourque to Anderson, picked up by Messier. He's checked, and Bourque has it and flips it in. Racing in to get it is Anderson. Anderson shoots, Bello-Shaken the save. Rebound, poked at by Sutter, but Bello-Shaken able to freeze it.
Some great chances for Team Canada. They're getting them. This play in front, that's a good shot because there was a decoy in front, and Bello-Shaken stuck with the puck carrier on that play. Sometimes the tendency is to pull away from that post and go for the guy coming up the middle. Bello-Shaken stayed right with it and made the save and hung on. And this is tough stuff. That's Rochefort checking on Semyonov. Rochefort's played a great game for Canada.
Here's Brent Sutter, but the Soviets win the face-off, and Fetisov gets it into center ice. Shot in there by Homatov, and Canada go back and try and clear it out. Knocked down by Bekoff on the boards. Into Homatov. Homatov centered a shot. Blocked at the defense. Oh, Kasatonov almost won it. And it hit someone in front of the net. And then Goulet clears it down the ice. Wow.
Well, we're having the chances at both ends, but the Soviets moving that puck around so well are presenting themselves with clearer chances in front of Fuhr, and Fuhr's been terrific in this period. Here it is again, and Kasatonov is number 7, floating around in that slot area, looking for a loose puck, and it's just bouncing around in there. Kasatonov trying to find a man in front, but it never did get back out in front as the defense moved in to cover up. There's big Kasatonov right there.
Now the face-off deep in Team Canada's end of the rink. Lemieux against Semyonov. Well, they have 3 centers out there, so they have their choice. Lemieux, Gretzky, and Howardchuk.
We mentioned the fatigue factor. I can guarantee you that I don't care how well conditioned the Soviets are. They're as tired as Team Canada is right now.
Semyonov against Mario Lemieux. Deep in Team Canada's end of the rink. Canada winning the draw, and here's Coffey. Firing it out on the boards. Chipped by Howardchuk into center ice. Semyonov back to get it. His pass. Now tipped ahead. Long shot. Fuhr. Long save. There's that Samak again, who won game 1, and he just ripped one at Fuhr.
Well, that one didn't handcuff Fuhr like the one that won the game the other night, but he was sure going for the top shelf. That's a slap shot. The other one was a wrist shot. Fuhr out at the top of the crease on that one, was able to get the glove up. This game now, well, we started it at 8:20, so we're going a long way, and an awful lot of high-tempo hockey has been played. See that save by Fuhr again. It's, what, 3 hours and 20 minutes old here in clock time.
Here's Nemchinov against Messier, deep in Team Canada's end of the rink. Coffey now coming out to question the referee Stewart about something.
I can't imagine what that is. Positioning a face-off, perhaps, but
whatever it is, Coffey was sent by Mike Keenan and now returns with the answer. Coffey comes back out there. I know what it was all about. I think Mike Keenan wanted to give some people a little bit of a breather.
I think he did a pretty good job of it if he gets away with it. The Soviets are going to make a change as well. Soviets have got the last change here. I don't know whether they're chasing everybody back, or you send the last guys that Canada put on the ice. Fetisov's out there discussing the subject with Yellow Shaken. Yellow Shaken's one would say a character, I guess. Doing a little skating. He skated all the way up to the blue line. He tends at times to just kind of sit down on the crease, right on his knees, and rest when play goes up the other end of the ice.
Hasn't done that as much in this tournament as he did in the Calgary Cup last year.
Or Rendezvous, where he was doing it a lot as well. He played a pretty good game tonight. Each goaltender's let in 5, but against offenses like this, 5 isn't so many.
Here's Messier. Nemchinov wins the draw. But Dotop at the point with a shot that deflects. And Gretzky has it for Canada. Gretzky firing it in. It changed directions but went wide. Lemieux in to try and get it. But Dotop quickly cleared it, and Larionov breaks up. Larionov, number 11. Stick handles in deeper. Shoots, put it up high. On the stick and into the crowd. And we're approaching the 14-minute mark of overtime.
Well, Larionov, I mentioned the other night, he's not really been much of a factor in this tournament. His wingmates have, but some say, and can't get anybody to really admit it, that he's playing hurt. A couple of nice moves, and then the deflected shot. Defenseman stuck right with him. Defenseman keeping everybody in front of them now, not allowing anybody to sneak in behind. 11-5 shots on goal now as Viktor Tikhonov. He's probably a little more relaxed than the other coach. He's got a little leeway. He loses tonight, he gets another shot at Team Canada.
Canada moving out. Gilmore sliding it off the boards, and Bekhoff goes back over to Gusarov, feeding it up the ice. Homatov into Bekhoff. Bekhoff trying to get around Bork. Tries to center. Here's Homatov behind the net. Homatov for the Soviets, centers. Bekhoff firing it back. Bure knocks it away, and Murphy has it for Canada. Larry Murphy up the middle to Gardner. He tips it down the ice, and Bellow shaken out to play it, and Gusarov trying to clear it out of there again. Long pass for Homatov, and that's offside at the Team Canada blue line. 5:27 left in period of overtime number 1.
Kamensky arguing there, just like an NHLer. That wasn't offside. Right at the line, he says. Jean Perron in the background, Mike Keenan in front. Boy, the tension in this building. Crowd is still up, but you can feel it. Everything's on the edge of the seats now. Every time Canada picks up the puck, you see the ooh, and every time the Soviets make their attack. Prolonged overtime period here. This is the longest overtime in the history of the Soviet Union.
Here's Semyonov dumping it in. Canada from behind their own goal, led by Paul Coffey. Coffey trying to flip it in. Broken up. Verbuchen shoots it out, and here's Semak. Lemieux checks him to Prop. Brian Prop shoots wide from well out. Dotop back to get it. That's Brent Sutter into the corner, centered out in front, cleared away by the Soviets, and back they come. Semak to Priakin, now to Lomakin. Lomakin trying to cut around Coffey, center to Semak, puts it in front, but Canada there to clear it away. And here is Lemieux to Brent Sutter. Sutter moving in, looking for Prop. Prop into the slot, shoots, stick save by Beloshakin, and Semak has the rebound. To Fedotov, that's knocked away. Goulet tried to clear it in. Here's Fetisov. Quick pass ahead. Semak trying to feed it to Semyonov. He's taken out by Bork. And here's Gretzky to Goulet with a perfect pass into Lemieux. And that's offside at the Soviet blue line.
That was a tough offside right at the line. Linesman was right there. Lemieux took that pass, and apparently, according to the linesman, it was just a shade ahead of the puck as he crossed the line. 4:18 left in the first overtime period. And Brian Prop letting that shot go. Now that hit the stick, and I guess it was enough of the stick, or it hit somebody coming around behind the net. Thought for a moment it might have hit the post coming behind him. Now here's Ray Bork just doing a number on Semyonov. It's tough out there.
Back to the live action. 4:12 left in the first overtime. Here's a lead pass to Gartner, tipped in. Bellows shaken out of the net. Gartner digs in, getting it. Canada's Anderson trying to center. Now Gartner continuing to battle. Here's Murphy, shoots. Bellows shaken, just got his stick on that. After it, Gartner a drive wide of the target. Here's Messier, behind the net to Gartner. Back to Messier. He's taken out of the play. Anderson then gets wrestled down by Larionov. And Makarov clears it into center ice. Soviets with Kasatonov carrying in. Trying to center. Good play by Messier to break it up. And here's Glenn Anderson. Anderson passing to Bourque. Canada make a hold. Change on the fly. Kasatonov back to Krutov. Lemieux held it in. Into the corner to Gretzky. Gretzky centered. Bellows shaken, knocks that away. Kasatonov trying to clear it. Now Gretzky. Back out to Crossman. Crossman at the point. Shoots. That's blocked. And Krutov back the other way with Makarov. Here's Krutov racing in. He's checked and copied into center ice to Gretzky. To Paul Coffey. Coffey leaving it. Shot by Krop. Bellows shaken, got his blocker up to stop that. Now Gretzky trying to center to Krop again. Krop gets knocked off the puck. And then it's shot back in by Crossman offside at the Soviet blue line. 2:40 left in the first period of overtime.
Ryan Krop getting a couple of pretty good chances. Krop, that earlier rush. Here he comes now. Getting that drop pass. Great shot.
Now Gilmore, Howardchuk, and Sutter out there for Team Canada. Rochefort out on defense, along with James Patrick. He played 17 minutes and 20 seconds of overtime. Now at the last second, Canada make a change. Coffey comes out, along with Crossman. Gilmore tossed out of the faceoff, and stepping in will be Brent Sutter. Sutter getting it. Rink wide pass to Coffey. Coffey fires it in. Digging in, Gilmore. Scoops it to Brent Sutter. Sutter taken out behind the net. Gilmore in to help out with the play behind the net, and Canada force another faceoff in the Soviet zone.
Brent Sutter doing a lot of hard work against Fedotov down in there behind the net. Well, I remember Sutter, monumental role they had with Bossy, Tonelli, 84 Canada Cup. Hasn't been given the opportunity to really show his wares in this one because of the number of positions he's been forced to play with the injuries and so on. Canada going
against Sutter.
I was going to say Canada going with the three lines.
Here's Howardchuk getting it to Crossman. Crossman put it in front. Bellows shaken, cleared that away. And Fedotov has it. Fedotov fired at the center. Knocked down by Howardchuk to Gilmore. Gilmore moving in, trying to center. Comes to Howardchuk. Howardchuk trying to get it in front. Does. Over onto the other wing. And the Soviets are able to clear it. Crossman to Paul Coffey. Back to Doug Crossman. Lead pass to Howardchuk. Bellows shaken out of the net to scoop it away, and Fedotov able to fire it back down the ice, and Murphy goes back to get it. Murphy to Bourque. Bourque trying to fire it in, and it's offside at the Soviets blue line, and we're down to 1:39 left in the first overtime period.
Well, the way things have gone, the Soviets are their most dangerous in the late moments of a period. Now, Mike Gartner, he's playing hurt a bit in this series, but continues to be, I think, a very big factor, especially in the defensive side of his game.
Two weary hockey teams battling here
Shots on goal, by the way, have really closed up. At one point, the Soviets had a very big margin. It's now 11-9 for the Soviets. At one point, it was 9-3.
Here's Murphy for Canada. Scoops it into the Soviet zone. Bellows shaken and to play it. Soviets work it out, and here's Karutov. Dropping it to Kasatona. Now into center ice. Makarov for the Soviets. Breaks in. Shoots. Wrist shot high. Karutov missed it. Here's Makarov. He's taken out of the play, and Anderson breaks up. Wayne Anderson to Messier. Messier dropping it back. Came outside the line. Gardner scooped it back in. Soviets break out. Here's Lariana. His shot blocked, and Bork back to get it for Canada. Bork trying to clear it. We're in the final minute of the first overtime. Team Canada get it to center. Homatov trying to carry back in. Homatov against Bork. Now Beckhoff into the corner with Crossman. Krutov is there. Messier tying him up. And Messier able to scoop it out with 30 seconds left. Kasatona over to Homatov. Into Beckhoff. Leaving it there. Kasatona backhander. Pure glove save. And he held on. We're down to 21 seconds left in overtime. Period one, that is.
Backhand shot again on Fuhr, one that beat him earlier. They're tough to handle. At that time, Fuhr right on it. 21 seconds left in the first overtime period. Who would believe it? They scored 10 goals in the first 3 periods and then go this long without a goal. A tribute to the defenses of both of these clubs.
Well, with the pace of this game, particularly in the first period, the noticeable difference here in overtime from both sides. They're weary hockey players.
That's right. Now, Canada, just the 3 lines going, it's incredible that they can maintain it. And I thought through the last 10 minutes of this period, Dan, the edge has been to Canada.
Semyonov knocked it back to the net. Copy there to clear it to Gretzky. Gretzky around onto the other wing to Kropp. Kropp knocking it back to the net to Crossman. 10 seconds left in the overtime. Here's Fedotov, a shot blocked. Crossman has to go back. Clear it out onto the other wing. Kropp shoots it down the ice, and that ends the first period of overtime. No scoring in period 1 of overtime, and we'll have to wait for a second overtime period to decide a game winner in game 2. The shots on goal in overtime, the Soviets 12, Canada 9, and it's still tied 5-5. More overtime coming up in another of these classic hockey games between Canada and the Soviet Union. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Now we go to the second overtime period. And, we'll take a look at the scoring leaders right now. Should the series end tonight, I would have to think that Wayne Gretzky, and I can tell you that Wayne Gretzky is going to win another scoring championship. This is his 6th tournament, international tournament. He's won scoring championships in every one he has played. And there's the great one in the background. Total of 18 points. Mario Lemieux right behind him. Krutov and Makarov at 13. Well, the fans, although somewhat hoarse by now, give Canada a big welcome as they come back on the ice.
Canada needs a victory to force a third game, which would be here in Hamilton on Tuesday night. If the Soviets win, they win the best-of-3 series in 2 straight games.
Looking at the count as far as shots on goal are concerned, Wayne Gretzky has a total of 6 in the game. Mario Lemieux having a big night with 7. Gretzky had 3 in that overtime period.
Who's going to do it? I guess somebody better wish the folks good Monday morning.
Yeah. Yes. Keeping a few people up tonight.
Eastern time zone anyway.
We may be here when we hit the Central time zone, the way things are going here tonight.
Second overtime period about to begin. Soviets back near their goaltender. Team Canada at the bench, including number 99, Wayne Gretzky. Canada will start. Mark Messier, Mike Gardner, and Anderson. Larionov, Krutov, and Makarov. Fetisov and Kasatonov on defense. Canada's defense will be Bourque and Murphy.
Well, there's no disputing the character of these two hockey clubs. Team Canada came from way behind in game 1 of the final. The Soviets came from behind to tie this one.
Here we go with overtime period number 2. Loose puck, Gardner back of the net. Almost stole it from Fetisov. And Fetisov beats Krutov to Larionov to Krutov. Has Makarov with him. Krutov trying to go around Bourque, around the net. Out in front, big save, Fuhr. After a great rush by Krutov. Canada starting back. Bourque into center ice to Anderson. Anderson fakes the shot. Centers to Messier, missed him. Gardner shot it well wide of the target. Bourque pinching in. Shoots, Beloshakin the save. To his knees to get the rebound. Both teams with an early chance.
Threw it right up on Beloshakin. Took that one right off his chest and it dropped at his feet. And he covered up. There's Kelly Rudy, the backup goaltender for Team Canada, watching from the bench. The backup goaltender for the Soviet Union has been standing all night. Still hasn't had a chance to sit down.
Now Gretzky with Howard, Chuck, and Lemieux up front. Bekov against Gretzky on this faceoff. Bekov wins it, and Gusarov feeds it to Homatov, who flies down right wing and flips it in. Fuhr to clear it. Lemieux can't get it out. Now it is shot out by Canada, but Bekov at center intercepts. Back he comes. Shoots. Fuhr just got his right leg on that rocket. And now Canada get it to center ice. Racing after it is Howard Chuck. Howard Chuck couldn't get it. Gusarov coming up with it, trying to clear it. Here's Coffey, shoots from the point. Howard Chuck in the corner. Leaves it for Gretzky. Back to Howard Chuck. Flips it in front. Lemieux was there, but so was Bekov, and he cleared it away. Here's Paul Coffey. Dumping it in, Gretzky in, but it's offside at the Soviet blue line.
2 lines on that play. A flip pass. Rink wide. And linesman John D'Amico called that one. 1:27 gone in the overtime. Now the Soviets got their chance right here, and this is a terrific shot. And boy, I'll tell you, Grant Fuhr, we'll start picking stars for this one.
Gilmore, Sutter, and Propp for Canada now. Here's Rochefort, who's out on defense with James Patrick. Soviets. Well, Mackin trying to get away from Propp. Propp tied him up. And Patrick flips it off the boards into center ice. Here's Gilmore to head to Propp. Propp to Sutter. Sutter moves in, shooting. Beloshakin a glove save, and then he cleared it to Seaman. Fired around on the boards. And cleared into center by Fedotov. It comes back to Fedotov. And then he fires it down the ice. Patrick hustles back. That's icing against the Soviets. And Canada with a big face-off in the Soviet zone. The more face-offs Canada can get in the Soviets' end of the rink, naturally, when they play any team. But that's one thing, as you pointed out earlier, the Soviets don't match the North American teams on face-offs.
Soviet and Europeans basically don't consider the face-off as the tactical weapon that we do here in North America. Every team in the NHL has its face-off specialist. Takes great pride in winning face-offs. We think of Bobby Clark over the years.
Here's Gretzky against Nemchinov. The Soviets try and clear it. Coffey held it in. Shot wide of the net. Gretzky into the corner. Trying to center for Goulet. Back on the boards to Gretzky. Got it in front, but the Soviets clear it. And here comes Humalev over to Priakin. Priakin leaves it for Humalev. Shooting, Fuhr the save. And Crossman cleared it away. Best chance of either team in this period right there. And another great save by Grant Fuhr. That one was labeled.
Well, there was a terrific pick run right here. It's illegal, of course, but on a 2-on-2, take a look at this play, because as the Soviet comes over the blue line, he's dropping it off. Now he takes Coffey completely out of the play. Crossman was there, and the shot, but again, you see Coffey taken right out. He's out of the play now. And a clear shot on Fuhr, who was at the top of the circle again. Cut off the angle.
Now Larionov against Messier deep in Canada's end of the ring. They played 2.5 minutes of the second overtime period.
They say a pick is illegal. It's interference in effect because the man doesn't have the puck.
Canada control from the faceoff. Glenn Anderson got it into the center ice area. Larionov to Makarov. Makarov, number 24. Makarov trying to go around Murphy. Murphy tied him up. Makarov still after it, but just left there, and Bork able to clear it out to Anderson to Messier. Messier to Gartner. Gartner breaking in on right wing. Centered it out in front. Oh, and Anderson just missed. Coffey a drive. Fellow shaking a stick save on that. And then the Soviets will ice the puck. And Canada will get another face-off at the Soviet end of the rink.
Well, not only are you seeing history being made in terms of this game in international hockey, but you may have seen some history here of the number of times the Soviets have iced the puck in this overtime. They are just looking to take the pressure off anytime they can. Great effort by Gartner on Fetisov. He got that puck in front, but it just never got to the man coming to the net. Gartner's speed is his main weapon, and a terrific slap shot.
Gretzky, Propp, and Lemieux for Canada. Coffey and Kent and Crossman on defense. Beckhoff on the face-off with Gretzky. Gretzky gets it to Lemieux. Lemieux stick handling, trying to get it to Gretzky. In front to Propp. Shot. Stick save, fellow shaken. Propp didn't get good wood on the shot. Now back to the goal. Propp trying to center. Lemieux taken out by Gusarov. Soviet trying to clear it. Held in. Crossman to Gretzky. Gretzky back to Crossman. Goes in, shooting on. Bella shaken. A glove save. And he held on to it. And then Propp and Big Stelno almost get into it. And Mike Keenan can't believe that that one didn't go into the net.
Well, he had the clear path. Good shot. But you needed a little more coverage in front of that net. Here it comes. Crossman will just tee it up. And as he does so, he saw it all the way. Stelnov kept one prop off to the side. And those are the ones that a goaltender is supposed to stop.
Now a late change for Canada. Crossman goes to the bench. Murphy out to team up with Coffey on defense. Same forward line. Gretzky, Lemieux, and Propp up front. Semyonov against Gretzky. Puck comes to Murphy at the point. His shot blocked. Soviets clear it quickly to center. Coffey hustling over. Tips it away. Now Semak trying to carry in, but Murphy knocked it down. And here's Lemieux. Mario Lemieux moving in. Gets tied up on the play. Gretzky tried to hold it in, but Semak now breaks out. To Semyonov. Over to Priyakin. Back to Semyonov. Leaves it for Semak. Shoots wide on the short side. And it's cleared by Crossman to Propp. To Lemieux. Couldn't scoop it to Gretzky, who was open on the right side. Canada, Howard-Chuck trying to attack. Now back comes Semak. Moving in on right wing. There's that quick shot of his. You're the save. Copy for Canada to Gretzky. Gretzky trying to stick handle through. Couldn't. Semak has it. To Lomakin. Mario Lemieux took him out of the play. And it's Crossman for Canada. Now Lemieux clearing it. Intercepting it. Kasatonov. To Humalap. Now to Nemchinov. He's checked. Humalap and Bork fight for it. Bork cleared it to Howard-Chuck, and Howard-Chuck into center ice. Misses Sutter with it. Soviets come right back. Humalap to Priyakin. There's Fuhr out of the net. Now Murphy without a stick. Just slides it ahead to Gilmore, and we'll get a stoppage.
Good play under those circumstances. The stoppage when you're playing, especially a defenseman without a stick. Better to pass it to a teammate, get the whistle, and get things back in order. More disasters I see on the ice when a player, be it a defenseman, a forward, or a goaltender, starts playing without a stick. It just seems like everything falls apart. Well, Mario Lemieux fighting off one hand. Now look at this little move. And he just got grabbed from behind, and then he grabbed in return. Never seen an international game with so much holding. But referee Paul Campbell is just going to let them play here. He's not going to call any penalties. As long as they keep things to Paul Stewart, rather.
Here's Messier trying to break down left wing. He's checked. Soviets flip it in, racing in. Kumalev trying to get it back to the net now. A loose puck back there. The Soviets, Makarov trying to get it. Here's Krutov. Tied up by Bork. Look at that battle. It's out in front. A backhander and pure. A save on Krutov, who just about ended this game in this series.
Well, that's why Krutov's the best player in Europe. You saw a perfect example of just how much he wants the puck and how much he wants to score. Great battle. Here's a great view of it, too, as he comes out from behind the net and got a good backhand away, and that was after a long battle along the boards with Raymond Bork. He managed to get away from Bork and get out in front.
We've now had a total of 100 shots in this game at both goaltenders. And it's tied at 5. We have played 5 minutes, 32 seconds of sudden death in the second overtime period. So we played 25-32 of overtime. Lariana up against Messier deep in the Team Canada zone. Puck is flipped out by Gartner. Here's Gartner trying to barge by Fetisov, gets some help from Anderson, but Fetisov held his ground, broke it up. Crossman shoots it in. Messier in. Sasatonov cleared it. Here's Anderson shooting. Belichick in the save. Fetisov losing it. Gartner behind the net to Messier. Out in front. Gartner shoots. Off the skate of Belichick and then off the post. Here's Coffey a drive. Markner in front. Couldn't get it over top of the fallen goaltender. Soviets come back. Krutov. Messier ties him up. Back comes Canada. To Gartner on right wing. Breaks in. Shoots. And Belichick came out and made the save on that. Sasatonov trying to clear it. Kropp held it in. To Gretzky. Gretzky behind the net. Belichick poked in the crease and then cleared away by Makarov. Belichick had no idea where it was. Now Gretzky upending Makarov. And Patrick comes up with the puck. Knocked away from him. Rochefort has to go back. Kamensky around. It comes to Propp. Now to Lemieux. Lemieux trying to go around Gusarov. Lemieux backhander. Glove save. Belichick on Mario Lemieux.
The catalyst in all of that was Mike Gartner. The best sequence for Team Canada in the overtime. About 3 times they nearly scored. And Lemieux is a deceptive skater. Look at the way he got the jump on Gusarov and got that defenseman going, got around him and got a good backhand away. What a sequence involving Gartner around that net.
And listen to this crowd in Hamilton. Face-off won by the Soviets. Gusarov trying to work it out. Oh, and Propp just about knocked it down, but it got through his glove. Rochefort back to get it. Into center ice to Lemieux. Now to Propp. Drops it to Rochefort. They flipped it ahead to Propp, who hit the linesman as he tried to clear it in. Omatov couldn't get anywhere, and here's Gusarov firing it in for the Soviets. Pure out of the net. Shoots it up on the boards, held in by Stelnov. Shot, that's blocked at the defense. Patrick now battling with Womakin for the puck, and Patrick just fell on it, and we got a stoppage.
Patrick relatively fresh legs in this game. He hasn't played a lot because he was designated as a forward for this game, which means out of position, but now they're starting to use him on defense a lot. And, oh, you take your fresh legs wherever you can get them. Well, we played a period and 7 minutes and 22 seconds of overtime since that goal that was scored with a minute 4 seconds remaining by Kamensky, remaining in regulation time.
Samak getting ready for a face-off against Brent Sutter, deep in Team Canada's end of the ring. We played 7:22 of the second overtime period. Samac and Sutter. Sutter wins the draw, and Canada able to clear the zone. Fedotov to Semyonov. He backhands it in. Murphy back for Canada, around to Bork. Out to Sutter, and he just deflected it into center ice. Soviets come right back. Samac stick handling in. Bork breaks it up, trying to clear it. Gets Sutter with it. Canada can't get it out of there. Bork broke it up. Now Samac closing in, centered. And Sutter blocked that from Semyonov. Puck back of the goal. Sutter trying to get it free. And Canada, with Murphy, finally lob it high to center ice. Semyonov for the Soviets. Lead pass. Lomakin in the clear. Shoots. Pure. Big save. On Lomakin, it was in alone. And then Canada clear it to center. Kasatonov to Nemchinov. Pure comes out of the net. Feeds it up on right wing to Gardner. Now back to get it. Fetisov flips it in, and Crossman goes back. Crossman off the boards to Messier. He couldn't get it out, but Gardner did chop it into center ice. Now Nemchinov banged into the boards by Anderson. Pure setting it up for Crossman. Crossman to Mark Messier, leaving it for Gardner. Gardner gets checked at center ice. And here is Larionov. Stick handling, drops it to Fetisov. This pass over on right wing, and Larionov just scoops it in. They played 9 minutes of the second overtime period. Crossman for Canada. Pass misses Prop. Kasatonov back to get it to Karuta. Here's Makarov. Makarov to Kasatonov. Moving in. Through the defense. Pulled down, and Pure able to grab the puck and hold on. If this was the first period, there might be a penalty there, Ron.
There might be. There will be no penalties. Kasatonov with a great rush. I think he's the better rusher of the two, Fetisov and Kasatonov, but he just got grabbed from behind by Crossman, pulled off the puck. And as it changed speed on Pure, it made it a bit of a tester for him. He's ready, waiting for a shot. All of a sudden he had to reach for it. There's Kasatonov. The guy with a lot of experience. Drafted by the New Jersey Devils, as was Fetisov.
Here's Lemieux against Bekov. Canada get it. Prop failed to clear it. Back into the corner for Lemieux. Around in the boards to Gretzky. Gretzky does get it out of there. Prop to center ice. Leaves for Lemieux. Here's Big Mario, but Kamensky was there to check in. Murphy over to Bork. Bork with a long shot. And Beloshakin stopped that. Kamensky, who tied this game up, comes to center. Tries to flip it in and does. Bork going back for Canada. Here's Remo Bork. Bork into Gretzky. Gretzky cutting in. Centers to Lemieux. Shot it wide. Dropped behind the net. Out to Murphy. Murphy to Gretzky. Hit the post. Rebound. They score! Mario Lemieux! Canada wins. The series is tied.
I'll tell you, if for no other reason than we get to see these two teams play one more time. 30 minutes and 7 seconds of overtime with these two great teams. And the two greatest forwards in the game wind up getting the winning goal. Murphy there. Gretzky got a good shot. Got it back.
Canada wins 6-5. The overtime goal by Lemieux. Let's go to center ice for the ceremony.
To present the Labatt Players of the Game Award. The Labatt Player of the Game for the Soviet Union, who will receive a Canon EOS camera. Le joueur Labatt du match qui recevra une caméra Canon EOS. Number 9, le numéro 9, Vladimir Krutov. The Labatt Player of the Game for Team Canada will receive the complete set of 10 1988 Olympic Winter Games coins, courtesy of Canadian Tire, number 99, Wayne Gretzky. Ladies and gentlemen, the box office at Cops Coliseum will be open at 9:30.
5 assists for Wayne Gretzky in this game, including on the game winner by Mario Lemieux, his third of the night.
The last 5 goals he assisted on in a 6-5 Canada victory.
Series tied, game 3 here in Hamilton, Tuesday night. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.